UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yep. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Right. Defense, hunker down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Film guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. Yeah. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Right. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We doing a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The
Shut up
tape.
and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind.
Let's
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You like that? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guide Network on a fabulous Thursday evening here on July 31st. Tomorrow is August 1st, which means tomorrow is officially football month, even though I feel like today started football. Like 99% of college football programs have had their first practice by the airing of this live show. Mm-hmm. How's that feel? Feels like we walked through the Oasis, gentlemen.
We made it, dude.
And you know how I know we made it? You know how I know we made it, chat? I got these two bozos looking over there at the bar watching a football game.
I don't know if I'll be peeping that one too much.
I see you peeping it right now.
Dude,
I'm in the middle of cold opening. You two are peeping
because you
right
mentioned
now.
it. You literally pointed at it. So I'm like, oh.
I'm peeping it so if we need to write an article.
Look, here's the deal, chat. I'm not going to act like I can compete with big boy NFL football, especially during the whole summer that it was. So here's the deal. Second screen is tonight, okay? That's some garbage football anyways. I'm pretty sure DJ Uyunglele's playing tonight. I mean, y'all ain't got to watch that nonsense, okay? Y'all tune in to us because we got fiery takes firing up tonight here on the show. Last show, best show. We got a great one for you. I got both a film study recap and a tease tonight, boys.
Wow.
Yep. I'm going to recap one and tease one for tomorrow. And I know some of our listeners tonight, especially you, Smooth, are going to enjoy that tease for tomorrow's show. We have topics stowed over from last night.
We did.
That's also how you know football season's back. Not only are you two jamokes preoccupied by football on the screen, as is our audience, I'm connecting you to the fan base here right now. I'm making you, what do you call it? Relatable, okay? So chill out. Don't be so defensive. But not only that, we're so loaded on topics, we got topics left over from last night.
I think that's like the third time that's happened this offseason.
It's coming.
It's like,
That's how you know football season is upon us tonight. Another change to NIL that nobody seems to understand. I'm going to try to put it in layman's terms for you guys tonight. We got regular season superlatives. As you can see by the title of tonight's show, we also have bold predictions coming tonight in a little bit of call yo shot. We're going to write some takes down, put them on the board, and stow them away for a later day. Y'all excited?
I like that one.
I like that we have a visual. Like, I feel like a lot of people do the I'm gonna give takes, and if they hit, I'm gonna come back and clip this. But we're gonna put the bad ones up on the board too. We might pull some down off the board.
We also always do a recap of our most wrong predictions at the end of the season. What were we most wrong about?
Not to tap ourselves on the back, but I feel like we are a show that points to our wrongs far more often than any other show on the internet.
And we do that.
We almost like to relish in our misses.
Dude, you can't bat 1,000.
No, you can't bat 1,000. You could try. But here's what we're really here to talk about tonight. I like this, okay? Because like I said, 99% of college football teams have had their first practice of fall camp, okay? College football is here, which means we got insider intel left and right, which means we got college football fans going to their local forums and going to their local jamokes and reading every bit of propaganda they possibly can. And I find that oftentimes throughout midway through fall camp, everybody feels like they're about to win a national title. And some of you fall succumb, or victim rather, to this false propaganda. So I got 10 keys. I got 10 of them. 10 keys to avoid fall camp propaganda this fall camp. Y'all ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Y'all want 10 to 1, 1 to 10. Which one y'all want?
We always will.
Do we have any OLIs?
I want 1 to 10.
No OLI?
No OLI. It's a strict 10. It's a tight 10 right here. 10 ways to avoid falling victim to false propaganda around your football team this fall. Number 1, if the pads ain't on, it didn't really happen. If the football pads aren't on during the piece of intel or a piece of hype propaganda that you are reading about your favorite football team, if they didn't have pads on, it didn't happen. Okay, line of scrimmage play didn't exist, so it didn't happen. Football wasn't being played, two-hand tag was, and awesome, you're good at two-hand tag. We play football, particularly in this conference that we cover. Okay, so what did I misspoke on?
You said show tomorrow.
Oh, no, we got film tomorrow.
Right.
We got film tomorrow.
Not a live show like this.
Yeah, no live show, just film. Let's get back to it. Number 1, if the pads ain't on, got to correct misspeakings if they happen. If pads ain't on, it didn't happen. Number 2, the backup quarterback is not a threat to take the job until he takes meaningful snaps on a real Saturday. Y'all with this?
This is an interesting one because sometimes it is, but most of the time when you hear, there's a quarterback battle going on, don't write off so-and-so yet. Most of the time it's just propaganda.
No. I'm not talking about quarterback battle. I'm talking about we got a known starter and somebody's propagandizing the backup. The backup ain't nothing until the backup gets in a real game and plays real snaps. That's everywhere. Okay, so he might be good at shorts and t-shirts. He might throw a pretty ball. But until he go out on Saturday and play real snaps, it's just forum boards. It's just your rumor mill. Okay, number 3. The young running back that's popping off this fall, he might be doing so because the vet don't need extra totes on his body. All right, this is everywhere in college football. You're going to see it. Your local football team, your favorite football team, is going to have a young running back that is just going off this fall camp. It's because the old head don't need no more totes. He's got enough practice. He got enough burn. He don't need nothing else. So take it with a grain of salt if the young quarterback or the young running back is getting a bunch of hype. Rule number 4, key number 4 to avoiding becoming victim to false propaganda. Number 4, every wide receiver eats during one-on-ones. Okay, so if you got some insider out there talking about, so-and-so was unguardable during one-on-ones, they all are. The whole drill is set up for wide receivers to win. So here's what you need to be aware of. If can't nobody get loose there one-on-ones, you don't have receiving cores. All right, you have nobody. All right, so if you got somebody out here reading, or you're reading about how during one-on-one time period we couldn't get nobody open, that's a problem. They got 4.5 seconds and 53.5 yards to get open with nobody else on the field. If they can't do it, that's a problem. All right, number 5. There are practice periods created for success and failure. All right, so let me explain this to the non-ball knower. All right, I feel like this is the real advantage of this network because you're going to have insiders that are available to go to practice periods and they're going to go out. And most schools have a lot more availability than the school that we cover. Like today, we got first part of individual period and punt. There's other schools like Ohio State today where they got full 11 on 11. They're watching team periods. All right. So they're watching real practice. So if you're at one of these programs, watch out for this. All right. Because there are practice periods that are set up for failure and for success. For example, everybody on this show knows what inside run period is. Even AI over there knows what inside run period is. You know what inside run period is. You know what inside run period is. Some of the chat probably knows what inside run period is. Some of the people that cover this sport have no idea what I just said. All right. What is inside run? All right. Inside run is a 9-on-7 period. There are 9 defensive players. The 5 or 6 guys, 6, 7 guys in the box, the 2 safeties, the corners are off the field. All right. Offense has 7 players on the field. 1 or 2 tight ends, 5 offensive linemen, running back, quarterback. All right. It is a designated run period. All right, so if you were some insider or if you were some booster that went and watched inside run period and didn't know what you were watching, you would walk away thinking, damn, the defense just stuffed the hell out of the offense for 15 minutes. Well, that's because they knew every single time the ball was snapped, the offense was about to run the football because it was an inside run period. But again, if you were unprivy to that knowledge, if you didn't know what inside run was, you have no idea what you just watched. So be very careful. And just understand that some periods are made for the defense to look great. Some periods are made for the offense to look great. All right. And again, if you're not reading or not getting your information from somebody who knows that or is honest with that or knows what, you might be misled. You might fall victim to the false propaganda. Number 6, the scout team hero isn't always the best player on Saturday. You know,
often,
same thing.
Often never is.
Often never. All right. Sometimes scout team heroes are just that. They're just guys that are unstoppable during scout team. And I don't know what it is. Normally it's that 5'7" nose tackle that just plays way too hard.
The 5'7".
Oh yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. There's these. There was one famously at Georgia. He's now a content creator. He bad dude. DGD Outdoors guy. Mm-hmm. Cade, what's his name?
I don't know his last name.
Chat will help us out here. That dude was a nose tackle, and he's a bad mofo. All right, 5'9", playing practice squad nose tackle in the SEC. I don't want no smoke. That's first alley, dark alley team guy.
Oh,
all right,
sure.
These guys exist. They're normally really, really tough to practice against, but they're not going to get playing time. So watch out for the scout team heroes. Number 7, injuries will happen. For the love of God, you don't need new indoor turf.
Yes.
Okay, stop it. Don't do that. When your favorite player or a position player, something happens, non-contact injury, it's not time to reinvent how you practice. You don't need to figure out whether or not coach is working them too hard. You don't need to figure out new turf. It's it's football. Football hurt. Ouch, bad. Hits hurt. Okay? Football is a physical sport. Sometimes injury happens. You need to understand that. Shout out Chat Cade Brock. Absolutely. A demon. All right, there's a lot of these. Let's see here. Number 8. This goes to Alabama fans because you're going to fall victim to this. I already know this. Routes on air are supposed to be completed. Balls are supposed to be accurate. They're supposed to be really tight and pretty. All right. Routes on air are supposed to be completed. So I say Alabama because they do it to their fan base more than anybody else. Even when Saban was there, they would release like 90 seconds of Indy. You ever remember this?
Yep.
90 seconds of Indy of quarterbacks throwing routes on air, and Alabama fans were making all kinds of hot takes and opinions about routes on air. It's routes on air, my guy. Everybody can throw them. Stop evaluating routes on air. Don't do it. Okay, so there's that. And number 10. Oh, no, excuse me. Number 9. Ball carriers look great in thud.
Oh, my God.
Ball carriers look great in thud. All right, which is basically all that's going to be available unless you're scrimmaging. And even the scrimmage going to have about 3 periods of tackle to the ground. Mm-hmm. Everything else going to be thud. What is thud? We're staying up. We're tagging off, as coach would say. We're tagging off. It's not football. It's tag.
Think of Ohio State's spring game.
Bingo.
That is thud.
Or just think of like any flag football.
Well, that's more like
they do the sneaky shit stuff where they like dip their hips when a guy's trying to tackle them and pull their flag.
Yeah,
you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not that.
They're at least making contact, but you will never see more broken tackles than you do in thud.
Ryan's taking that offensively. Well, hey, I wasn't saying it's your problem with the Bama folks. I'm not giving you a problem. I'm just saying the school itself lends itself to propagandizing the quarterback room because they put out the routes on air footage and that's it. And they give you the little tidbit and then you go crazy because you got your little piece of crack. And, you know, now we get to make opinions about we actually see practice footage, but you saw routes on air. You didn't see actual practice. So there we go. And number 10, I feel like this is the most important. Okay, so whatever your school is, I know all you guys are reading forums, all you guys are reading insiders. Here's the deal: find the insiders who are very clearly and obviously talking to staffers, and don't read the guys who are talking to boosters. I think that's clear. That's again not my beat. I'm talking about all the beats. All right, all the beats, and I think you can tell who's doing what.
Everything's great from one perspective.
Yeah.
The boosters love spreading the good news. So and so is going to be amazing.
Everybody's great.
So and so is unstoppable.
Everybody's great. So this is best. This is the best guy I've seen since 1975.
He's got a lot of blank in him.
Oh yeah, got a lot of blank in him. Unguardable.
Oh yeah,
just crazy. Couldn't stop. Couldn't take my eyes off of him. That's the type of stuff you get from the boosters
for sure.
All right. Do you feel like there was any notable omissions in that tight 10 right there? 10 keys. I thought of one specifically for Notre Dame fans watching us tonight. Understand that the quarterback with the ability to run is going to get the benefit of the doubt. All right, the Messi, who's the quarterback? As I have a stroke right now, the quarterback that's in competition to start over CJ Carr up there with Notre Dame. I think it's Minchie, something like that. He wears number 8. Mm-hmm. He is a mobile quarterback. You could see it in the spring game, like a real problem with his legs.
Minchie.
The CJ Carr kid is a dynamite thrower, tremendous thrower. But that Minchie kid might beat him out, and it might be because of stuff you never see. It might be stuff that they're projecting as well because they never see it because they never took the red jersey off the guy. Understand that the quarterback that has his legs might get a benefit of the doubt in these competitions.
And I've never had a problem with this take specifically in practices because in real life situations, like tapping the quarterback on the shoulder or getting near the hip isn't enough to kill the play. Now, obviously, there are some instances where, okay, he got close enough to where he could have probably gotten a sack and that defensive player lightened up. But a lot of times you go, you know what? That play probably doesn't result in a sack if you keep the play going instead of blowing the whistle early. So I'm okay with giving the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything to add to that. I think it's a pretty solid 10.
It is a solid 10.
I think my favorite is the every year, man, like non-contact injury. Oh, it's the turf. We need new turf.
It's usually fire the strength and conditioning staff.
That too. We got to overreact to football.
This is the second knee injury. They're doing something wrong. They got to be fired.
It's more so the turf gets attacked more in real games than it does non-contact off the
because
field.
You get some crappy field in October.
You're right.
The strength and conditioning.
The strength and conditioning guy gets smoked, and depending on your coach, he practices them too hard.
Yeah, what's going on here?
He practices them too hard. We got to take it easy on these guys.
That's definitely the main one.
I got a bar coming for y'all later.
Why is so-and-so playing special teams?
I got a bar for y'all later.
A bar?
What camp is about. What fall camp is about. It's about 2 things. You want it now?
Go ahead.
Fall camp is about callousing and connection.
I like it.
We got to callous the body and the mind, and we got to connect our football team together through miserable suffering. That's what fall camp is about. You like that one, AI? You got a little chuckle out of that. Yeah. You don't know about miserable suffering. These kids these days, fall camp ain't nothing for these kids.
It doesn't sound like it.
Ain't nothing. They get like a 2-hour practice. LSU's first practice today, Brian Kelly said it was less than an hour. Less than an hour. We were out there for about an hour. These kids ain't practicing these days, folks.
Clemson by 10.
Welcome into tonight's show. It's the loaded one. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribing, rating, reviewing, all that good stuff. Let's talk about the news of the day, which is apparently a new NIL ruling. I don't even feel like pulling out the wording on this. I feel like every time I turn around, they give me some type of new ruling. This is allowed. This is not allowed. Yada, yada, yada. Let me try to explain to you what happened today. In short, the collectives that have been funneling all of this pay for play money can still exist. Okay, so if you're a fan of a football team that has a massive NIL collective and you've been running up these, fan funding, crowdsourcing, pay for play, monthly payments to these athletes to get them onto your football team and keep them on your football team, and you're worried about this rev share model coming your way, which is basically just Texas, maybe Miami, maybe USC.
Maybe.
USC for sure.
Yeah, USC for sure.
So most just a couple of U schools. Tennessee for sure. They had state laws about this to make sure they could circumvent these laws. It sounds like you're going to be all right. All right, based off everything that I read today, we went from Collectives are bad, not allowed to be had. All right, so only rev share model. That was what House versus NCAA was supposed to be, right? The rev share model came out. Everything else was supposed to pass through NIL Go. That was where we started. Then we moved to kind of, the collectives can still exist, but they have to act as a marketing agency. Y'all remember that stage?
Yep.
Now we're into the stage of, just pass it through NIL Go and we'll see if it's legal. So here's what I'm predicting is about to happen. It's already happening, but it's about to happen ad nauseum. If you're some slappy on YouTube that does college football content and you have some cool channel, get ready for a shitload of competition. I'm talking about lots of it. All right. So if you're one of these guys that hosts live streams and does college football content, get ready. Because we got college football players that are about to start doing content ad nauseum. Because how else are these collectives about to wash all this money that the fans are funding? I got it coming for you right now. The Players Lounge is about to be everywhere. We're about to have Ryan Williams podcast times 1,000. How else am I going to wash $400,000 outside the rev share for the defensive tackle I just signed? Somebody make it make sense. It's going to be a bunch of autographs and a bunch of podcasts coming your way right now. I hope you're looking forward to finding out what football players' favorite pizza toppings is, because that's what's coming your way.
It's so funny to me how really one of the biggest stories pre-NIL was destroying having a YouTube channel, not being told that he could do that and that he had to choose a course. And so he ultimately chooses YouTube, steps away from football.
That's how they're going to wash the money.
That's how you have to go about this now. You have to start up some YouTube channel or do some type of content to make sure that your money is still clean.
Y'all ain't slick. I mean, the school I cover, you don't think we noticed you started to do YouTube content? You don't think we noticed we went out golfing with a couple of your players the other day? You don't notice that we're putting your YouTube or your live stream press conferences on the YouTube channel now instead of doing it on GeorgiaDogs.com? You don't see that we're obviously noticing your revenue stream plays. And again, that's one school. They're all doing it left and right. Now, why are they doing it? They got to not only open up revenue shares, but they got to open up salary opportunities for their players. It's clear as day. Clear as day. So get ready, all of you idiots that are making careers talking on the internet for football stuff. Y'all got actual football players coming into your space. Y'all got any ideas on who that might affect?
I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, NIL, what's NIL gonna say? Oh, you want to pay your D tackle $100,000 to do podcasts? Cool. Are they going to say it's improper value?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
say show me the RPMs.
That's what I would say. I say show me the RPMs. Show me that the views on that YouTube channel produce the revenue for that.
Yeah, but could you then just not say, oh well, this company sponsored the YouTube show?
Or could you not say, well, pull the receipts on all these other content creators, because some of these companies are losing their what's left and right on these content creators.
Very true.
Some of these guys are signing big contracts, doing big time shows that ain't pulling in numbers. So you could do that left and right on every side. But yeah, that's what we got coming our way. We got so-and-so showed up at the collective, signed 100 autographs and left with 10 racks for the month. And he going to come back the next month and do the same thing. I guess it's good that they at least have to work for it now. Instead of just getting it in their bank account.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you at least have some obligation to doing. I know there were certain instances where quarterbacks were asked, hey, you need to come out to this event and this event, and fathers of those quarterbacks would come and say, no, this isn't happening, but I guess that's going to change.
Yep. Speaking of NIL, we had a segment last night that didn't make the show sheets tonight. We felt like as a show, and I think the general college football audience would agree with this, that two football programs specifically last year in the national championship contender race bought their way in there or spent a lot of money getting their way in there. I think you guys on the show notes all made it an Ole Miss category.
Yeah.
I would make this also the Ohio State category.
Oh, most definitely.
Because it wasn't just the Caleb Downs edition, right? It wasn't just the Julian Sayin edition out of the portal. It wasn't just the running back edition of Quinshon Judkins. It was also retaining an entire draft-worthy bunch of juniors to come back their senior year, right? The Jack Sawyers of the world, the JT Tuimaoloaus of the world, all who had draftable grades as a draft-eligible junior that chose to come back. So we made this the Ole Miss and Ohio State category of two football programs that obviously spent a lot of money last year to buy their way into the national championship contention. Ohio State's obviously paid off. So who are the football teams in college football this year that would fit this category, boys?
I think that Texas Tech is certainly one of these teams of like, and like when
They're the poster child for this, except go ahead, get your punt off because we're all going to make the joke.
Well,
they didn't buy their way to the national title.
No, but they're trying to. I mean, they're trying to like at least buy their way into like, oh, please talk about us. Please look at the Red Raiders.
You know what? My joke's way better. This is what it says on my notes. Texas Tech bought their way into, quote, maybe I'll pick them to win the Big 12, ... Actually, never mind. Baylor looks pretty good.
Oh.
Well, and I think that, and this is like, I think Texas Tech is a prime example of this because I know that people know college football, but you cannot tell me that people are picking Texas Tech to be successful this year because they were watching Texas Tech all of last year, and then they saw the additions like, oh, man, they filled a lot of holes on this roster. I think that they could really contend this year. I think it's as simple as, oh, this team spent a lot of money. It's expected that they're going to be good. I think Texas Tech could be a contender in the Big 12 this year. Like, I think it's just as simple as that. But, like, I think Ole Miss is the biggest example of this because they were clear as day. Like, Ohio State, you can kind of respect a little bit because at least you're maintaining the guys on your roster, guys that have been there for multiple years. Like, I think that's completely fine. I think every team should be trying to do that. But Ole Miss was literally revamping their entire roster last year to try and make sure that they were in a national title conversation, and ultimately didn't even make the playoff. I think that's kind of where Texas Tech fits.
I think you could also, to some degree, now the absolute roster talent aligns this more with what Ohio State did, but Texas has spent a lot, and you look around and the roster, price tags around it, they're consistently one of the highest. Now, I don't know if that's mostly because of what they've done on the recruiting trail. They didn't go super heavy on the transfer portal this season, but just the sheer price tag of Texas's roster, you could say that they bought one.
I think there's a football program going under the radar in this category.
I have another one.
One person in the chat's kind of hit on it. Bro, LSU bought so many players this offseason at positions of need, right? They needed basically an entire new revamping of the defensive line, signed 2 edge rushers. We talked about it last night. Patrick Payton, Jack Pyburn, got my man Sadir Mitchell from Texas as well. So got a big nose tackle, signed a couple of defensive tackles out of the portal as well. All right. Went over, got Nick Anderson from Oklahoma, who I don't know. For my money, I thought Nick Anderson was the best wide receiver available in the portal when healthy. Now, the difference was last year, he didn't play the last 9 games. You're basically projecting what you saw as a freshman. I know what I'm doing there, but I think he's a really, really, I would say, great football player, particularly in what they're going to do. LSU spent a lot of money on the additions front to really make themselves basically meet the expectations for this year, which I feel like Brian Kelly, year 4, expectations is get your butt into a playoff. Like, you ain't got to go win a title, but get your butt into a playoff, dude.
I think another example of kind of buying and paying money to fill the holes is what Miami did. They paid an absorbent amount of money for Carson Beck, and that's kind of the headline of that. But they also went and got a bunch of receivers out of the transfer portal. They have 7 players on the defensive side of the football from the transfer portal. So definitely another team that kind of went out and bought a new roster per se and paid a hefty price doing so. Like, we've seen all the reports about how much Carson Beck is supposed to get should all of the incentives be given to him. So
shoot, I think this team might be the one that I pick for who tried to buy their way into this. I mean, Oklahoma spent a lot of money. I mean, just 2 players alone, Jaden Ott and John Mateer, those are 2 expensive players you would imagine in the transfer portal. They also nabbed Giovanni Gibson, who was a 1,000-yard receiver in the portal this year. And they also
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah, and then they also got Marvin Jones from Florida State. Like, it wasn't as many additions as maybe some of these other teams, but there were some big additions.
They spent a crisp $5 million in the portal.
Easily.
I mean, $1.5 million to $2 million on the quarterback, maybe $2.5 million on Mateer. You think Mateer is making $2.5 million?
I mean, he was the top quarterback in the transfer portal, right?
He's probably making close to it.
And Jaden Ott was the top running back available.
Well, he was never really available. He was just Oklahoma. Right. But
he wasn't available.
That is true.
Hey, we don't. That's pre-portaling.
Oh,
that's
yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's pre-portaling.
Yeah, you're right.
That's pre-portaling effectively. And you can't get in trouble for that. Can't get in trouble for tampering.
Any man with 2 first names follows the rules.
Name the last team to get severely punished for tampering.
It's never happened.
The Atlanta
There's
Falcons.
no last team. Yeah, no.
The only other team I can think of that comes off top of my head is the Florida State Seminoles because of Amarius Mims.
Yeah.
But that was even.
But that wasn't even tampering. That was illegal conversations with the NIL booster club.
Exactly, and that's like the closest we got to like, hey, that's tampering.
I think the closest we have actually gotten is Wisconsin suing Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't
tempting.
caught.
Yeah,
but that was
and
just,
all they want is their bread.
Yeah, that was just giving us our money back.
You can keep Lucas.
Yeah, you can keep Lucas. We'll take the money back.
Yeah, so I don't think that there's ever going to be an instance where tampering is an issue.
Bottom line, though, I in my opinion, I don't think that you have an Ole Miss this year. I don't think that there was a team that was an absolute mercenary in the portal.
No, I mean, there weren't enough players, I don't think. I don't think there were enough, like, holy hell, these are great players that we have to go get them. I think part of that stems from the fact that there wasn't a lot of coach overturn. Like, you think of last year and the few years prior. Saban leaving, different guys getting fired, Harbaugh leaving. Like, it provided such an opportunity for so many talented players to enter the portal when they might not have done so.
Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, Jimbo Fisher.
That's a really good point, actually.
That entire Texas A&M roster was full of 5-stars that went elsewhere. Like, there really wasn't that opportunity this year.
Just elite ball knowledge right there. That's good stuff. I did a film study today. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I did a film study today. I also have a film study ready for tomorrow.
Ooh.
So I have film note recap and film note tease. Which one do you want right here, right now?
Let's give us a recap.
Let's do the recap
I want
first.
the recap. I figured you want me to tease you.
No. You got to hold on to the tease as long as you can.
All right. So we did a Dylan Raiola film study today. And look, you Cornhuskers are finding that one. It's starting to pop now. It hovered about 500 all day long. As soon as I looked up today, 1.5. All right, so it's starting to get found over there in Husker Land. Appreciate you for being here. Probably should call you Husker Land. All right, appreciate you, Cornhusker fans, for finding that one. If you haven't watched it, you need to go do it. First and foremost, that dude needs help.
Yes.
That dude needs a lot of help around him. We watch a lot of offenses on this network, or at least we have over the last month. We do anyways. I think it's very safe to say we watch more film than anybody else on the YouTube when it comes to college football. So we watch a lot of offenses. And I think what is coming more apparent to me, and Jonathan, I'm going to speak to you and you confirm this to me, and I'm only doing this because you've been in the room during most of the quarterback studies during the summer. I think it is very clear to me when I watch football nowadays that some offenses are RPOing, college footballing their way through this, and some offenses are NFLing their way through this, correct?
Yeah.
And it's so obvious which ones are doing what and which ones are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we go from watching one offense to the other, and one offense is actually making a guy read through progressions, and one offense is just RPOing their whole way down the field and just making it very, very easy on their quarterback. Nebraska's asking this kid to play in a real pro progression system. Okay, just like Georgia asked their quarterbacks to, just like Florida to an extent asked their quarterbacks to, just like Texas does, just like some of these programs do. Okay, they're asking him to play in a real system, and he doesn't have a ton of help around him. Of all of the quarterbacks that we have studied this offseason, I would argue that Dylan Raiola, as a true freshman last year, played more disciplined and more on time than any quarterback we've studied all summer. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would agree. The only name that would pop into my mind of someone that specifically played on time was Arch. Arch knew where his hot was at all times.
And here's where I'll push back on that. Arch is playing in a two-system check-down system. Or two-read check-down system where it's off-play action, it's deep post, deep over, and then check-down. It's very 1-2, ball out. Okay? For what he is being asked to do right now out there in Nebraska, playing in a real tight-end heavy system, under center, this dude's being asked to play real Sunday stuff with nothing around him. All right, he's not even playing on time. He's playing ahead of time. How many times did we watch today him getting to the fourth read in the progression? The ball's coming out as he's getting hit. Free
Many
hitters.
times.
This dude's and more I watch, I'm like, damn, buddy. If I gave you truth serum right now, would you wish you were in that Ohio State system? Or at least situation? Because I'm telling you, if Dylan Raiola were on that roster, they're not taking Julian Saying out of the portal last year.
There's no quarterback discussion, probably.
No. He's starting right now Ohio State, throwing to Jeremiah Smith, throwing to Carnell Tate, throwing to Brandon Ennis. If he's at Georgia right now, he's probably starting. Probably starting.
You think so?
It'd be a heated battle, I bet.
It would be a heated battle. That dude, I'm telling you, he knows how to play the spot. He's playing the position. He's not just a talented thrower. The other thing I think we noticed on the film study, that dude's way more elongated than anybody ever talks about. That dude's motion is way more like drippy and dipping low than anybody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to do the Gunnar Stockton throwing motion. That dude is almost to the waist. It's real low.
I think that's what I've learned most doing these quarterback studies this offseason is, like, everybody talks about how great of a thrower like Lenoris is, how much horsepower he is, or he has, or DJ Lagway, or all these guys. The more and more quarterbacks we've watched, like even Marcel Reed was like this as well. There's a lot of quarterbacks that don't have like this perfect motion that everybody's looking for.
I think all that matters is, do you play on time? Does the ball come out of your hands lively? Does it arrive where it's supposed to? Are you accurate? How you get there doesn't really matter to me unless it's like Tebow. I felt like I could watch Tebow click through the clock on the dial when he threw.
That's fair. It's been a while since I've grinded Tebow. Actually, no, I grinded it a while, but
I was about to say, you called him the most overrated football player in the history of America.
That did not happen.
You said
that
it was
garbage.
garbage.
The exact take, was it not?
It was not the exact
Chat,
take.
wasn't that the take? Didn't he say Florida's Tim Tebow, who could have arguably been a two-time Heisman winner and holds the SEC record for rushing touchdowns, so he's the most overrated quarterback in the history of America?
It's not how I remember it going down, and we have video evidence of it, so we can pull the clips.
Okay. You go dig and pull those clips. I think chat confirmed. Chat confirmed you said that. That's what chat says.
I don't know about it.
All right, so that's the one I did. Y'all should go watch it. You want the one I teasing?
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed up. When did I text you guys in the producers chat the other day?
Probably
Long after I was
midnight-ish.
asleep.
1:30?
Yeah.
1:15?
I was up.
Yeah. You ain't respond, though. But he tried to brag, say he was up, but he didn't respond?
No, I did not. I was rebuilding my dynasty. I was a little occupied.
Okay. That's
Playing
fair, I
video
guess.
games. I was
I read it, though.
I was in REM 2 at that point, dude.
I went and studied Alabama's defense late last night, and I got film study coming up tomorrow on it, and I've got notes for you. There's no doubt losing Jahad Campbell is a major loss. All right, that dude is a freak show. He shows up on tape every single time you watch Alabama last year. He is all over the field. There is no doubt about it. That being said, Justin Jefferson, who was wearing 15 last year, will wear 10 this year, is a dude. He has obviously played a crap load of football despite never having started there, or at least his instincts and his keys on tape would indicate as such. That dude is playing fast, he's playing downhill, he's playing decisive and confident. And when we combine those on a, I'd say 6'2", 230-pound frame, that's a redshirt senior at Alabama that Nick Saban recruited, he's going to be able to play ball. So they lost Jahad Campbell, but they got this guy who has not played a ton of starting minutes for them over the years, is about to get it and deserves it. He's really, really, really good. Alabama fans know that. I don't think the rest of the world knows that about that roster. Moves first, plays violent and confident. By the way, Deontay Lawson's back on that roster. I don't know if he's going to be 100% healthy at the start of the season. Still in a big knee brace out at fall camp, but that dude's going to play a lot this year for them and going to lead that defense. He's a good football player as well. I think they have one of the best defensive line returning units in college football as well. LT Overton is a legit top 45 eval, in my opinion, based off what college football has available on the defensive line standpoint. He's going to play defensive end, stand up, rush. He's going to play like 4-eye out to a 9 this year at Alabama. I think he's an NFL 3 technique. Prove me wrong. You know what I mean? He's got to be 6'5", 295 pounds. That's an NFL 3 technique, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think we're best off doing that. However, he's going to get to play real big and fun as a stand-up defensive end, put your hand in the dirt every once in a while type of edge player this year for them, and he's really, really good. Quay Rousseau has an opportunity. I'm going to connect to the Georgia fan base here. Has an opportunity to be a Jalen Walker-esque type of pass rusher for them. Situational. Where's he going to be? Where's number 4 at? Identify him. He might get home to the quarterback type of football player for this defense. I think James Smith, number 23, is twitchy as hell. Now, there was very obvious times last year where it's like, this young bull has no idea what he's doing, but damn, if they ever figure out how to break this stallion, he's going to be great. He's going to be great this year, I think, for Alabama. He's going to be a really, really impactful, twitchy defensive lineman for them. I love Tim Keenan. Big, stocky nose tackle. Fire hydrant, the definition of one. If Tim Keenan is 6'1", I'm 6'3". You know what I mean? Tim Keenan can't be but 6'1.5", like 322. Catch him coming out of the right breakfast buffet, maybe 330. You know, that type of big. Birmingham big, Alabama big. I love them. They're going to be tough to run the football against this year. They also have their own Dan Jackson.
Everyone's got.
It's a common trend. It seems like
y'all were figuring this out pre-show. How many white safeties we got in the SEC nowadays?
Well, Jordan Hancock was not in the SEC, but he was at Ohio State.
Jordan Hancock is not white, sir.
Yeah, who am I thinking?
No,
They had one. They had one though. Who am I thinking of though?
I don't know, but it ain't Jordan Hancock.
You know who pioneered the Dan Jackson?
Tyler Sinceri?
No, Clemson.
That's white linebacker. They ain't out here white safety in it.
Look up Tanner Muse.
Okay, no, I remember Tanner Muse.
Number 19.
Yeah, Tanner Muse played for a good minute out there. Mm-hmm. You had Dan Jackson. You got Bray Hubbard now at Alabama.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Sinceri is the OG, though. The OG white SEC safety.
I want to say him and Muse were about the same time. Yeah.
No. Sinceri's like Saban, Kirby Smart days.
No, you're right. Mm-hmm. But either way, no, it is it's a more common trend than people like Michael Taft at Texas. There's a lot of them out there.
But I like number 18, Bray Hubbard. He is a dog. That dude hunts. I can't wait to show you him tomorrow, Jonathan. He plays football like he just don't give a damn. You know, like, what is pain? I grew up with pain. You know, that kind of stuff. I loved watching number 2, the corner. Love watching Xavier Brown, I think is his name. I wrote in my notes last night, he plays corner like a linebacker. Yeah, like you can see his visual anger on tape. Now, Alabama fans in the chat, I love giving the notes before I go do the tape because I'm going to cook somebody tomorrow if he was healthy. Will you tell me, Alabama fans in the chat today, was Damani Jackson healthy in your bowl game? Just give me a clear-cut answer on that. I just want to know before I go into that film study tomorrow. Because if that was 100% healthy, Damani Jackson, which I think he was dealing with injuries all year last year, so I don't think he was. If that was healthy, Damani Jackson, we got tape to show tomorrow. Anything else? Any questions, comments, concerns about that? Oh, I know what. No, he was not healthy. Okay, good. Yeah, he was playing like he wasn't healthy. I do worry about their schematic repetitiveness. I worry about it. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how good you are, Jimmy's and Joe's wise. If you line up and do the same stuff for 65 snaps, I'm going to cook your butt third through fourth quarter. I'm going to cook you.
By the way, they do expect
Lawson
to return at Florida State.
All right. Georgia or Alabama. By Florida State is what you mean? Yeah, Deontay Lawson will start by Florida State.
It's an important game.
Huh?
It's an important game for them.
Yeah. Important game for them. They got to handle all respect on field. Is that what they say? Oh, no. All disrespect
will be addressed on the field.
All disrespect will be addressed. Bars. All right. Damani Jackson was hurt all year last year. Yeah, he did not want to stick his nose in at all on tape. Warranted. Hey, protect the money, baby. That's all I'm saying. Protect the money. We love that. So those are the film studies. Regular season superlatives. The reason we're here tonight. All right, regular season superlatives. I like this. We've got game you're most intrigued about, game you're most excited about, most underrated game this year, game that will most likely end in somebody being fired, game with most at stake. We got lots of games to talk about tonight. Who wants to start it out with the game you're most intrigued about? I got 2.
Oh, you got 2?
Only one allowed.
You can only pick one.
I'm the creator of the segment. You better pick one.
All right, well, I'll go last because I think mine's going to get picked.
Penn State, Oregon is the one I'm most intrigued about. Why'd you give that look? Because look,
I guess it does decide the Big Ten if you're not an Ohio State believer.
Well, not only that, but I think that there's been some conversation during the offseason of while people think that both of those programs are going to be good, there's also a lot of questions surrounding both of those programs. And that game is early enough in the season to where you're going to kind of get a deciding factor on which team people are jumping off ship for and which people are jumping on for. So, like, I think that game will kind of be the deciding factor of who are we hitching our wagon to for the rest of the season, and just kind of figure out, like, is one of these teams actually fraudulent? Is one of these teams actually less talented than what we're made to believe? So I'm most intrigued about that one.
I'm certainly most intrigued about hearing Kirby's take.
My most intriguing game of the season might be a little selfish simply because it's a game that I'm expecting to go to. But I'm very intrigued by Syracuse versus Clemson. It's during the bye week of Georgia, don't worry.
Why are you going?
Because my girlfriend went to Clemson.
Is this first mention?
No.
Is this show's first mention?
No.
I don't think so.
On air first mention?
No.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
It's not.
Just check.
But no, I've never been to a Clemson game day. That's a very...
Bro, there's women in the chat right now going, dang, man.
I promise you there's no women in the chat on the show. If they are, they're spouses or their girlfriends of current
I can hear
watchers.
the hearts break in the chat right now.
There are no women in the chat of this show. But
There's
no,
some
I'm...
all curious folks in the chat right now.
That's interesting. But no, I'm curious to see what a Clemson game day looks like. That's also a very sneaky opponent for anyone. Syracuse is kind of the sneaky ACC team this year, so that's an intriguing game for me. What's your game? You didn't give it yet.
Yeah, I was going to go 2 games. Very intrigued, obviously, by the Alabama versus Georgia game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to see Georgia win a regular season game against Alabama. You guys are fans. You get to admit to be fans. You graduate.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put this one.
Let me ask you, do you feel like is there a mental hurdle for you?
Oh, for sure.
For that football team?
1,000%.
So I'm not being irrational,
yeah, I mean,
hot takey guy. when
feels
I
a
say
little...
There is a mental hurdle in the fan base about that team.
The fan base 1,000%. The team, I don't know.
The team is the team. I'm talking about the people in the building. If that game is close in the third quarter, you ain't going to feel good.
No.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. Because I'm going to get asked about that one ad nauseum, obviously, leading up to it. And I just want to know if I feel the same way or if I reading your feelings about that the same way. But the one I have down here is actually wild. I'm really interested in that Auburn and Baylor game to start the year, just because I'm curious. I went through SEC Media Days.
That's a fair
we sat
one.
down and sat down with all kinds of Alabama folks, all kinds of Auburn folks, all kinds of folks from that area with the radio stations, and every single one of them, just every Auburn guy I talked to, just bypassed that Baylor game. Hey, if we get to so and so 4-2. And that means we only have to really battle it out against so-and-so. And they just completely bypassed that Baylor game. Y'all saw it when that Vegas line came out. Baylor is favored in that football game. An opening line. Now, I know it's a half point, point and a half. Don't really matter. It's a bogus line. It's a pick 'em line. But every Auburn beat reporter looked at that as just mark it in the win column. So that I can only imagine what the fans think of that. If the beat reporters think that of that, what do you guys think of that? Y'all probably bypass that one like crazy. I'm very interested to see if y'all handle your business like you're supposed to. Vegas doesn't think you will.
There would be nothing more detrimental to Auburn's season than to start it off by losing to a conference member that everybody clowns on.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody clowns on the Big 12, and you're going to start your season by losing to Baylor. It doesn't matter how good Baylor ends up being that year. It'll look bad, and people are going to clown Auburn for it, and people will clown the SEC for it.
I mean, Hugh Freeze might be on the hot seat after that. If he's not already on the hot seat, it gets very hot from there.
All right, game you're most excited about. I feel like this should be a clean sweep.
Dude, it's Texas-Ohio State.
I'm saying.
It is Texas-Ohio State
game week 1 is nuts.
I wanted to put Texas-Ohio State, but I chose to be original. I went Penn State or Oregon, just because if the whiteout and Happy Valley at night and all these things are really everything it's cracked up to be, and Penn State gets their first top 10 win in 5,000 years and all of this, and it's a deciding game for the Big Ten, that could be a monumental game to watch. So that's kind of why I put that there. But the correct answer is absolutely Texas and Ohio State.
There's so much there, man.
Yeah.
Arch, the questions about the interest about Julian saying the quarterback at Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, Caleb. That's just so much there.
And that's why I'm glad it is week 1, because
coordinators.
Because there's nothing to go off of other than what you're expecting both of these teams to be. And everybody's expecting both of these teams to be really good this year. And I feel like the anticipation is going to build more for the week 1 matchup as opposed to if it was in late September.
The shoe. I'm so glad it's not a bullcrap neutral site game. I'm so glad they're going home.
You know what I also can't...
All those SEC Big Ten games are home and home. I love that about
I also can't wait for the SEC homers, if Texas wins, to try and have them carry it. See, make fun of the SEC now when just a year ago, y'all aren't part of the SEC yet. Y'all haven't earned it.
Right? Y'all haven't even played a real SEC schedule.
Yeah, y'all haven't earned it. We don't care that you went to the championship last year. And then all of a sudden, you want to make fun of the SEC now, huh? Texas just beat you. That's going to be so fun to watch because there's people that are going to do it.
All right, most underrated game of the season. I feel like I'm going to win this category. I know we're not actually winners and losers here.
I don't think you will.
I think I'm going to win this.
So I'll go ahead and let you give your take.
No, fam. Come on.
No. You're the claimed winner.
As your boss, I demand right now that you give me your take first.
And what happens if I don't?
Fired.
My game that I'm picking is the same week as yours. I think, and this is why I think it's underrated, because when you look at the week 2 slate, you're going to look at the game you have.
The week 2 slate is poop.
Hey, we don't do that around here. We don't do that around here.
We don't.
We're just talking about how we made it through the desert.
We walked through the desert. We haven't every weekend of college.
We're going to watch Missouri State, Arkansas with a smile on our face.
We haven't even started the season. You already have the audacity. Oh, that's a bad slate.
But somebody else off camera said that. I did not say that.
Okay.
Not this microphone.
People are going to look at the week 2 slate and they're going to
think it's poop. That's what I said.
And they're going to say that your game is the best game of the week, which is why this is the underrated game of college football this year. SMU versus Baylor in week 2. Oh, come on, dude. Come on. It's like
that was a lump in the throat. That was
we get Sawyer Robertson, Kevin Jennings.
That was a gulp, like a scary one. I bet that's an 8:30 matchup too.
I hope it is. Yeah. I think that's the most underrated. I don't know. Let me look that up.
You said it like it was in Waco. You said SMU and Baylor.
You're right.
So I bet you read it on ESPN like that, which means it's probably at Waco.
Let me check on that.
So you telling me Baylor opens up their season with Auburn?
Yeah,
and SMU?
I thought that was kind of crazy too.
Schedule.
That's tough for a random.
No wonder no
layups, baby.
Big 12.
No layups. Toughest Big 12 schedule? Is there such thing?
Probably. 2 out-of-conference teams.
I don't know. That is the deepest conference in college football.
It's at SMU on the CW network. Why?
ACC.
I know, but
ACC. And guess what? SMU ain't even taking CW money to be on that network.
Oh, that's a good point.
Remember that?
That's a good point.
That's true.
Yeah, SMU.
We don't need that.
So oil rich. They said, you know what? First 10 years in the ACC, just keep my TV money. I don't even need it. I don't need that CW network cash. Get that out of here.
We don't need that.
We got oil money. We don't need your CW money.
They do have that.
Get that out of here.
All right, this is a game that 1 could have playoff implications. 2 will answer a ton of questions about certain players. 3 is between 2 powerhouse blue bloods at a historic venue, and it's not really getting talked about in this week 1 matchup slate. Miami at Notre Dame is a really big game. It's Carson Beck's first appearance back. It'll be Notre Dame, a team that played in the national championship last year, seeing how they can do, seeing what Miami looks like after having virtually everyone that contributed to their season last year gone. That's a really big game, and it's going to be the marquee matchup on Sunday night. I think it's not getting enough to talk about right now. So that's my underrated game.
I think the sneaky slept-on football game, and I understand why, because a lot of people are projecting like an 8-4 season from both of these football programs. But Michigan goes on the road to Oklahoma week 2, and Sharon Morris strategically planned out his ability to coach this football game because he played there. So he gets to coach the first 2 games, and then suspending himself against the 2 cupcakes before they play Nebraska at home or somebody legit at home.
Yeah.
So there's that. But there's a lot in that football game. Other than that, the rest of the slate is a good week 2 football slate where we're going to find out a lot about the younger football players on some of these greater rosters when they play Tittawatta Tech. Other than that, Vandy and Virginia Tech going to be a slobber knocker. You got a good one that you just talked about that my football brain's not bringing back to
SMU versus Baylor.
SMU and that other team, Baylor, is going to be a really good football game as well. But I'm really excited for that Oklahoma-Michigan foosball game. Under 25 designed quarterback runs in that game.
Between the 2 teams?
Between the 2 teams.
Over.
Way over.
Y'all think over?
Yeah.
Sacks don't count. I'm talking about designed quarterback runs.
I'm envisioning...
That's 12 and a half apiece.
I feel like that's going to be...
You only run the ball 36 times a game.
I feel like that's going to be a mainstay for Michigan this year.
Just run the dude into the ground.
Not run him into the ground.
Run him into the ground.
I just think that might be their most reliable option.
Hey, I ain't going to lie. Davis Warren kind of spinning that pill against Alabama last night when I was watching it.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding. You can't start a walk-on when you're paying somebody $10 million. You can't do that. Game that will have the most at stake. Dun, dun, dun.
I went with Texas, Georgia. It's in November, late in the season. I think that when that matchup rolls around, there's a very good chance that either these teams are playing for a spot in the SEC championship game and one gets eliminated, or they play one another and they both end up in the SEC championship game still. But regardless, I think that game could have the most at stake this season.
There's a couple that could definitely be on this. Georgia, Texas is one of them. Texas has a lot of games that could just definitely be the most at stake. I again tried to be original with this one. I went South Carolina at Clemson, or Clemson at South Carolina. I know that this is not a conference game, so you can lose this game and still make your conference championship. But what if neither of these teams has secured a spot in the conference championship? And what if they're both, 10-2 or 9-3 or on the fringe of being a playoff team? Then all of a sudden, not only are bragging rights big, not only are ending a streak against, your in-state opponents, making the college football playoff becomes an absolute opportunity and, is on the table there. So I think this could become one of the most at-stake games, especially at that point in the season.
I also consider that one.
I think the Texas versus Texas A&M game could hold some stake
for sure
if A&M handles their side of things.
They got to do that. That's a big ask for the Aggies.
But there's a real possibility that's a 9-2 A&M team in that football game.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And a 10-1 or a 9-2 Texas football team. And as you'll find out in some of my takes later into the show, coming up right now, I think this conference is going to be decided at the very end of the regular season in terms of who's playing for an SEC title this year. Mm-hmm. I don't see a single undefeated team on the paper, which means we're going to have a lot of 11-1, 10-2, 9-3 football teams at the end of the year. Okay. The Losing You're Fired Bowl. I think it's the Losing You're Fired weekend of college football.
Yeah, you pointed this out.
We found it. There's a weekend of college football where everyone's playing for their life, and it is November 1st. All right, on November 1st, we will have Mississippi State's Jeff Lebby and Sam Pittman staring each other in the face. Loser goes home.
Oh, I'll do you one better. Hugh Freeze and Mark Stoops are going to be doing the same exact thing that week. I can't remember which team it is, but one of these, or I believe, one of these teams is coming off of playing Georgia, Texas, and Florida within 3 weeks going into this matchup. And I think it's Auburn. So you could rattle off those 3 bad losses, and then you go on and you might lose to Kentucky, or Kentucky might have a bad loss to Auburn. It's one of you has got to go. Yeah. One of you's got to get out of here.
You got to get going.
Yeah. I also have Arkansas, but it's a different week. Arkansas versus LSU on November 15th. Yeah. Because by that point, if you can salvage a season if it's gone bad for Sam Pittman, beating LSU will certainly do that. Likewise, if Brian Kelly loses to Arkansas and they don't make the playoff, they might be ready to kick him out. And if Arkansas at that point loses, you're probably looking at a 4-8 or 5-7 season. Should things go the way everyone's expecting it to, I think that's a losing you're fired opportunity.
Boy, I'm trying to think who LSU would go higher at that point. Eli Drinkowitz wins 11 games in Missouri this year. Does he get the job at LSU?
Oh, no.
They would riot.
They're calling Mr. Colt Leader himself, dude.
I don't know, man. You get a couple of those beat reporters to just retweet that SEC Media Day speech from this year, and you might win a couple of Bayou Bengals over.
You might.
Definitely.
Probably not. They've had enough of the Northerners coming down into their space trying to figure it out, hadn't they? Would we classify Eli as a Northerner? I don't even know where he's originally from.
I don't know where he's from either.
He doesn't have Southern twang to him, though.
No.
Hit me a Google on that. Where's Eli Drinkwitz from?
Then again,
somewhere where camo cargos are allowed?
I was going to say, then again, is Brian Kelly, the face of the South?
He's from Arkansas.
Interesting.
But yeah, Eli Drinkwitz is more Southern than Brian Kelly.
Yeah, so maybe it'd work. Huh. Where were we at?
We finished our superlatives.
Oh, yeah, you're getting shit canned games. If Florida gets blown out by Georgia,
you think there's a chance?
In the cocktail party? I think there's a chance.
Yeah, but Georgia's not firing Kirby Smart even if they lose that game.
Excuse me. I said that wrong. Whoa. Bad opportunity for a clipping. Did I say Florida gets blown out right there?
I took it as you were talking about Billy Napier.
That's what I'm talking about. Georgia ain't never firing Kirby Smart.
Right.
No. If Billy gets blown out in that football game, he could get gone.
That's definitely, I mean,
sure.
It's happened before.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that, the losing you're fired bowl, signifies to me both coaches have their jobs on the line.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Kirby Smart.
No.
Kirby Smart has nothing to worry about.
Also, November 1st at 10:30, we get San Jose State at Hawaii.
Oh, shout out the Rainbow Warriors.
That'll be dope. Is there a stadium built yet? They still playing at a high school field.
I don't know anything about the Hawaii facilities.
You should learn.
I should probably know. My cousin played there for like 4
Let's call
years.
shots. All right, here's how this is working. I got a bag of thumbtacks right here, and I got Post-it notes right here, and we got about 140 days before the college football season wraps up, right?
It's not completed yet.
Huh?
The stadium is not completed
Stadium
yet.
is not completed yet. Good work. We got Post-it notes. We got takes to give. We got a wall to stick them on. We're going to pull these takes up off the wall at the end of the year. So here's how this goes. This segment's called Call Your Shot. You got 5 opportunities to call your best take, and we're going to put it on the wall. Call your shot number 1 for me. I think the SEC Championship Games participants goes down to a coin flip.
Wow. That is quite the shot to call off the rip.
We were so close to this happening last year.
Not
by the
really.
way. I mean, kinda. If A&M doesn't lose to Auburn, it's a real crapshoot late in the year to decide who goes to the SEC.
The only reason why I know that we were close to this is because I remember having numerous conversations of us not being able to figure out who is going in what scenario.
Could not, for the life of us.
Like, couldn't figure it out.
But that was,
We implored an entire Discord chat and couldn't figure it out.
Let's also be fair. That was like 3 weeks before the season ended. By the time that the end of the regular season came, it was very clear cut as to who was.
And I'm going to tell you this year, that ain't going to be. Because I'm looking at a bunch of college football teams, especially in the SEC, that have schedules and holes on their roster that indicate to me you will not be a perfect football team.
For sure.
So you're not going 12-0. You're more. I think we're going to have a bunch of football teams 10-2 to 9-3 range. I think we're going to have a tough time deciding who's even. Like last year was clear cut. Texas was the one, and then Georgia and A&M had to points their way into who's going to the SEC championship game.
No.
Towards the end of the season, whoever it was, the second place spot was up for points. Georgia got in based off the criteria.
No, they got in because Texas A&M got beat by Texas and Oklahoma beat Alabama. They weren't tied with anyone.
That's what it was. But if all 3 of those teams end up regular season 10-2, we go down to those point systems, and I think this year we've got 4 or 5 teams that end the year 10-2 is what I'm trying to tell you. That's my first call.
That's a much better take than it comes down to a coin. There's like 7 steps.
No, it's coming down to a coin flip. That's the take.
All right. You go ahead. You want me wrong.
I'll just kind of ease my way into this first. I think neither Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams are in New York for the Heisman Trophy this year. I get a fair one. I'm more for Jeremiah Smith being a year 3 Heisman finalist, and the same goes for Ryan Williams. I don't think that either one of them will be a Heisman finalist this year.
These sticky notes aren't very sticky.
Do you young people need a writing utensil?
I can grab one real quick.
Okay. Sometimes you don't carry pencils around. Guys aren't note takers anymore. You know, I'm a firm believer in the hard script note. Hey, don't even act like I didn't have to put you on game with taking notes. Don't even sit over there and try to take credit right now off camera for having your pencil and your pad, because I had to put you on game the first day you showed up here without anything to write on. All right, so y'all write yours down. Kirby, you got to give me your first one.
Yes, so if you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice that some of these might be recycled because I've been doing 50 takes ahead of the college football season before it begins. But the first take I'm going with is that Nebraska will have a winning record in 1-score games this year. If you know anything about Nebraska football, they don't win 1-score games, no matter if it's against Ohio State or San Jose State. They don't win it. They have a winning record in it this year. You can put it on the board.
Hell yeah, love that. My bold take, or my call your shot number 2, Lenore Sellers will be QB1 in the NFL draft.
Oh, okay.
Not pick one because I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what positional needs whoever's the worst loser in pro football is going to be. But QB1 is going to be Lenore Sellers in the NFL draft.
Oh, wait, we're doing all these on one sticky note.
Precisely.
I'm going to need another sticky note.
Wait, why?
I wrote it too big.
You're just wasting paper?
No.
You hate the trees?
Just write it smaller. Just write it smaller. You'll figure it out. Right on the back. I don't care. I don't have any more sticky notes.
Second one I have. Oregon is a first-round playoff exit yet again this year. I think there's something to be said about a team just kind of walking their way through a regular season and then having to ramp it all the way back up in the college football playoff. I mean, it's the same thing as it was last year for them. I think that the Oregon Ducks are going to make the playoff, but they are going to be a first-round exit this year again.
Take number 2. Last year, the SEC miraculously went through the entire 2024 college football season without firing a single head coach. That will not be the case this year. There will not be 1, there will not be 2, there will be 3 SEC head coaches fired by the end of the 2025 season.
I love that. Call your shot number 3. Ryan Day will have the Waffle House card on his mouth like this by the second half of the Texas football game. That's my take.
You think he just takes it right back?
Hey, Brian, you think that's a good one? Hey, Brian, seriously? You think that's stop? Hey, I think we should run the ball here. Yeah, I think we got some micromanagement coming our way from Ryan Day. Rightfully so, by the way.
Number 3, I think there are at least 4 quarterback changes in the SEC during the season. I'll give you my potential candidates as to why. Give you some logic.
Guess?
Yeah.
Kentucky, Mississippi State. Really?
I didn't have Mississippi State.
Chaffin's getting hurt.
Well, I didn't include injuries.
Okay.
Because if that was the case, then I could up the number up quite a bit. Missouri has one of them. Kentucky is one of them. Auburn, kind of my dark horse there. I think there's a good chance that you see some Deuce Knight this year. And Tennessee as well. I could see a world where Joey Aguilar, they get to a point of season where Joey Aguilar, you don't need to be the starter anymore. Let's look at George McIntyre or let's get Jake Merklinger out there. So I think that there's going to be at least 4 quarterback changes during the season in the SEC this year.
Going to the ACC with this next take, the Louisville Cardinals will begin the season 5-0, yet they will miss the college football playoff.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Call your shot number 4. Arch Manning stat line. You ready?
Uh-oh, here it is.
Lord.
4,200 yards passing, 400 yards rushing, 12 total turnovers.
12 total?
Total. That's fumbles and interceptions included.
Okay.
I could see that. Do you have the fumble interception ratio?
He gonna throw 9 picks.
Only 3 fumbles?
3 fumbles lost. Put it on the turf 6-7.
That's a fair one.
Yeah.
I'm not against that.
I might make some people puke on the living room floor when I say this one, but I think the G5 representative this year has at least 2 losses, and they make the playoff. Yeah, it'll be disgusting. It won't feel good. It won't feel right. It didn't feel right when an undefeated Boise State was in there, but I think that they're going to have at least 2 losses this time.
Oh man,
that is. I could see. I mean, hell, they might get 2 teams in. No, I'm just kidding. That's not a take of mine. Take number 4. Back in the SEC last year, this team went 0-8 for winning conference games. There has not been a team to do so in the last, I think, 30 years. Mississippi State wins 1 conference game this year.
So bold.
That's all we need.
So bold. I think this is a hot take, honestly. Ryan Williams will not lead Alabama in receiving yards this year.
Ooh.
And here's my thought process. First of all, Jeremy Bernard was close last year to getting him in that system with what they had going on. All right. This year, they're returning. We've talked about it. They're returning much more to DeBoer's roots. I think their system will look a lot more like what it looked like at Washington than it did whatever option quarterback-based run game they were creating last year with Milroe at quarterback. And if you go back and look at his Washington days, the ex-receiver in that offense, now I know it was Roma Dunze, and I know that Ryan Williams is a better football player than Jeremy Bernard, but he had 30 more receptions than Jalen McMillan, who is not a bad football player. All right, it was noticeable rep share and target share towards that X in that offense. Jeremy Bernard, I'm talking maybe beat him by like 30 yards. Both go for 900 plus.
That's not a bad take.
My final prediction for this season. This year's favorite hate watch for the 2025 college football season.
I know who mine is.
Will be the Indiana Hoosiers.
Whoa!
I think people are going to wear so thin on this so quickly because everybody loved them last year. They loved Coach Sig. They loved the Hoosiers because they were new. They felt like a dark horse in the Big Ten. And I think this year, because they're not going to be quite the contender that they were last year, we've already gotten some of the outlandish quotes from Coach Sig during the offseason. I think it only get worse this year, and I think people are going to wear thin on them.
Dude, you're like...
Why don't you talk? Oh, I'm right in front of the camera.
Yeah, that's how
It's on me, baby.
But anyways.
Why aren't you carrying dead air right now?
I was like, I can't even carry the screen. No, I like that one, Jay. Well, my final take. Syracuse, they're a team I talked about how they're a sneaky team this year, could provide a lot of trouble for a lot of ACC contenders. I think in Syracuse's span of Notre Dame, SMU, Clemson, Miami, they don't play them all back-to-back, but they play them throughout the season. They have a 2-2 record in that, which is beating 2 top 15 teams. I think Syracuse is able to do that. I trust Fran Brown, and I trust Syracuse.
Hey, we got a whole nother hour coming up next. It is our local hour. It is our best hour. We've got film, our practice notes. We got film notes. We got presser notes. It is football season, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hot day in this football.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grab some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back in to the Film Guy Network for another fabulous hour of content here on a wonderful Thursday afternoon, evening, I should say. It's 9 o'clock, 9:08. We're a little bit late on the local hour. I ain't even mad about it.
Had to get the predictions off.
Hey, baby, football season is here. That's what that means. When the longer and longer we go, 2 hours ain't enough. You know what I mean? 10 hours a week ain't enough. I think we're going to push 20 hours a week on content this year.
20?
I think so. Honestly, Jonathan, we pump it out an hour or 30 minutes of film every single day right now, on top of 2 hours of live streaming 3 days a week right now. We're at 11 or 12 hours of content in the quote-unquote off season right now on this network.
Not to mention,
we produce more content during the month of June than some content producers create all year.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot. And the reason we do that is so you just don't have anywhere else to go. Like, you only have so much time to consume content, so we're going to absorb that here. All right, we got a loaded one for you today. We've got warm off the presser notes. I like how you put that in the show. Is that you?
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Normally, it's hot off the presser. Normally, your boy comes rolling in right here and just rips off presser notes. Not quite. We're warm off the presser today from an 11:30 presser. We have practice observations. I have a film recap from the Kristen Miller and CJ Allen film study. If you haven't watched that already, you're missing out. We also have preseason awards now for the local hour. Offensive MVP, defensive MVP, rookie of the year, most improved / breakout player of the year, coach of the year, all coming tonight on this channel. And we're going to call your shots. 5 predictions for the college football season for Georgia. All right.
Before we get to that, we've got a new board edition for the Super
hell
Chubs.
Yeah.
Delafonte.
That's a brand new dog, ain't it?
He's been regular in the chats for the last few days, but
I know, but he said best hour on YouTube. Now, Jonathan, I thought it was pretty funny during the Gunnar Stockton film study the other day. I said something along the lines of, if you're a new viewer and a Georgia fan, hi, Patrick Starr, nice to meet you. You must have been living under a rock. Like 300 or 400 new people subscribed to the channel off that film study. Where y'all been? I mean, seriously, we've been grinding at this for 4 or 5 years in the Georgia space.
Maybe we're tapping into a new generation.
Delfonte, D-E-L-F or P-H-O-N-T-A.
D-E-L-A.
What?
D-E-L-A.
Yep.
P-H-O-N-T-A.
P-H-O-N-T-A. Delafonte. What up, Delafonte? Delafonte? How are we going to pronounce that? Xavier McLeod? How are we going to pronounce that?
I was about to say you'll probably give every option except the right one, knowing it.
Kirby Smart at a press conference today. You want the notes from it?
Let's hear the notes from the press.
Had an outstanding testing / numbers period this summer. Also did quote a lot of non-impact cardio. I got a theory. You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Y'all see that viral clip of George Kittle talking about that weird machine that the 49ers have found? That it's called a Vesper machine. Have you seen this?
I've heard. I haven't.
It's where they hook you up to a bunch of like cold water, shock your body into thinking it's in thermal shock, and it fires a bunch of endorphins into your body while you're riding a hand cycle and a bicycle. You only do it for about 20 minutes, but it makes your body think you just ran a marathon. Have you not seen this?
No,
I thought we talked about this on the network.
And you talked about
it while we were riding in here one day. So NFL teams have invested in this ad nauseum. All these teams have them. It boosts your testosterone through the roof. I think Georgia bought themselves a couple of these this offseason.
Sounds like it.
I mean, they ain't out here Pelotoning. What low impact, high intensity cardio could he be talking about?
I mean, you do rowing.
They riding that little LeBron James hill climber
No, that
thingy?
shit works, dude.
They doing one of them?
The Versa Climber?
I look like one of them Texas A&M guys just now.
Yeah, you do.
No, the Versa Climber works. But yeah, no, like that's probably like one of the things they're doing.
Yeah.
That's technology, man.
I thought that was interesting. I think they got one of them fancy machines. Young, hungry, and fun to coach. Says it's a first-time bunch. A lot of guys who playing for the first time. A lot of new energy. A lot of guys seeking hard coaching right about now. Seemed like he was enjoying that. Approaching camp, the approach in camp is to grind them out. I thought it was good to hear that they're healthy enough to practice this hard. That was very obvious in his press conference today. He said, healthier now than we've ever felt like we have been going into fall camp. Got more bodies than we feel like we ever have going into fall camp. I got a feeling if you're a Georgia football player listening to this, A, you're not listening to this, you better be getting some sleep. B, your butt in for a tough 15, 18 days coming your way during fall camp.
That was going to be my question for it. Do you think the fact that they are so healthy going to this camp is more encouraging for them to ramp up the intensity? Because it's like, well, we can spare, some injuries here and there because we are so healthy. Or do you think it's, hey, we are so healthy right now, let's try to keep it that way?
And 53 new people. Mm-hmm. You have 53, I think 53%. I think 53% of the roster is brand new.
Yeah.
This is their first year playing for Georgia. So you gotta set that.
I think he said first or second.
First or second.
Yeah.
You got to get that.
So you think that means to like an increased intensity?
Yeah. I mean, I just think it means we're not going to take our foot off the gas.
Okay.
I think going into that Clemson matchup several years ago when you got 12 starters on the IR, we might need to start worrying about practicing as hard as we normally do. But right now, go to work. That's when I wrote the note, camp is about callousing and connection.
Ooh.
- Brooks.
I like it.
Yeah. Fresh. I asked him about his fresh message. Hey, we're 10 years in, big dog. How are you? And he applied it to his players. I'm more worried about your coaches. Now, I'm not worried. They've obviously stuck around. But you got certain coaches that have been getting yelled at and MF'd on the microphone for like 10 years now. I mean, Schumann's been there since day one. Hartley's been there since day one. Trey Scott's been there since day one. How are you approaching these men who have grown this program with you? How are you approaching them new? How are you going about that? And I didn't properly phrase the question. He approached it as like, oh, fresh message for the team. That's easy. Well, it's a brand new team. So it's a brand new message every year. I'm applying new concepts. I'm figuring out everything. Now, what I did appreciate him applying the message to is how he applies, how he stays fresh in the game, right? The game changes all the time. There's new innovations, new schematics. So we got to stay fresh in that department. I appreciated that. Let's see here. Camp is where you get to hone your skills. Season is about opponent prep. I thought this was neat. He said he had clips of pro guys talking about how camp is their time to worry about themselves. That during the season, Monday through Friday is all about, oh, I got to study this left guard, see what he does. I got to worry about this system. What are they installing? How do we stop this team? I'm not necessarily looking inward. How do I make sure my steps are right? How do I make sure I'm healthy? How do I make sure I'm going through practice the right way? Am I taking my steps in the right order? Am I doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing? That's what fall camp is all about. I thought it was interesting. He was asked about the run game, right? Because he talked about this spring, we going to run the ball and we going to stop teams from running the ball. Was asked about this today. And he mentioned it's not necessarily about like how many yards do we run for or how many yards do we give up. It's not that binary, right? It's more about efficiency. All right. Do we run for the amount of yardage that we're supposed to run for when we run the ball? All right, he said the best football teams that he has been a part of, they can run the football when they have to, and they can stop the run when they have to stop the run. That's good football. In other words, 3rd and 2, everybody in the stadium knows you're running the ball. Can you still pick up the 2 yards? That's a good run offense. Not some team that rushes for 3,000 yards just because they rush for 3,000 yards. Now, you rush for 3,000 yards, I'm assuming you're good in those scenarios, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's not as binary as they averaged 200 yards per game today. Well, we'll see. Are you efficient when you need to be efficient? That was his point today. Dodge the balancing of the reps of the quarterback question like a savvy vet. Did you hear that today? He got asked, now I get what we're doing, got asked, hey, how do you make sure essentially that you're getting both Gunner and Ryan efficient reps with the ones? He spun that question into, more importantly, how do we get the 3 and the 4 reps? You know what I mean?
Without even name dropping who won and who
without even batting an eye. I was like, it's really, I mean, everybody's got that problem. The real question is, how do we get the 3s and the 4s reps? Gunnar and Ryan get plenty of reps. We're not worried about those guys. I loved that. By the way, it's passion, fire, and energy, not fire, passion, and energy.
Who was confusing that?
I was. I think it sounds better, fire, passion, and energy.
I would agree with that.
Don't you?
Passion, fire, energy is all.
You're just being the straw man like normal.
Like normal? What are you talking about?
Fire, passion, and energy is way cleaner than passion, fire, and energy.
I agree with this.
I mean, it's 6.
Also, passion, he's the better leader here, but like, aren't passion and fire kind of like the same thing? You got fire for something, you got passion for it. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. I got a lot of passion for this.
I mean, I would say passion is a state of being to where fired up is an emotion. And you wouldn't want to more rely on emotions in a sense like that.
Philosophizer.
I dabble.
John Jackson's with the team. We don't avoid the heat. I think the exact comment was, we face the heat. We don't run from it. We face the heat out here. Now, he also did say that because of all the softening of America, he didn't use that term, I just did. The softening of America with the safety and the rules and the heat index and the wet bulb and we can't practice when it's hot outside. Because of all those rules, it's already soft enough for these guys. So he basically says within the rules, he gonna kill them. He ain't say that, but I just said that. Within the rules, Kirby gonna make this as hard as humanly possible, and he gonna pray for 105-degree heat. I saw did y'all see that Tom Coughlin video that's been going viral?
No.
He said heat during camp is a necessity. You have to have it.
I mean, that's
It's gotta be hot. It's gotta suck. That's part of that callousing I was talking about earlier. This
Makes
stuff's gotta be hard, man. Linebacker question that he was asked about. Hey, basically, you got 4 great ones. How do you play them all? It confirmed to me what we're going to talk about in film notes. You're going to play a lot more 3 linebacker sets moving forward. I think not only this year, it's going to look like you're playing a lot of them because Chris Cole's going to be a stand-up rusher, I think. You're going to look like you have, quote-unquote, 3 inside linebackers on the field. But in reality, you got 2 box players and a stand-up rush, which is really kind of what you had a lot last year because Jalen was the 3rd linebacker, but he was a stand-up rush.
So is that going to be included in nickel packages? Or is that just going to be...
It'll look like a 3-3-5.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, your base package is nickel. Unless the team's playing 12 and then you bump into
3-3
base.
3-3-5 with your 3rd linebacker mug down to where it looks like, oh, he's playing DN.
Yes. Unless they're an empty, then we'll play a 3-2 box.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, I don't listen to nobody else, but the ball knowledge, the ball conversation, that general, exchange of questioning right there just doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen anywhere else. How has the game changed? He was asked about this. Since your time as the head coach at Georgia from 2016 to now, how has the game changed? And he talked about how in 2016, RPOs were in college football. You might have a couple of them. But now it's basically the entire offense.
Yeah, I mean, Hugh Freeze claimed he invented it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hugh Freeze, I felt like was the first coach in this conference that was running a lot of them.
Yeah.
He ran them so much and so effectively at Ole Miss that I firmly believe Nick Saban hired Lane Kiffin to come put that in at Alabama. That's when Blake Sims started, and then it turned into Tua and Jalen and then Tua, and they became RPO slant heavy. Nonetheless, he started talking today about how now it's like all that offense is running. We noticed it on film. We talked about it in the National Hour. There's a lot of teams. Texas A&M was this on tape. Penn State was this on tape. I would argue to an extent Clemson was this a good bit on tape. Who else fits into this? Your RPO and your way through this entire thing. Auburn, obviously.
Obviously.
Auburn's the king of this. It's probably it's in my opinion why they turn the ball over so much.
Can't think of any others that we've taken.
I feel like Vandy ran a good bit of RPOs.
Yeah. Well, they were optioning.
Right, but that's...
Yeah. Not like... When I think of RPO nowadays, every inside run both has an option for the quarterback to keep and a converted go route on the outside. Every offense is running it. And what Kirby got into this discussion about is... And if Kirby, if you're listening today, you're going to have to stop doing something, at least for our listeners, that you constantly do. And I know why you do it. The common fan doesn't know All right, we got to remove that from our vernacular, at least for our listeners, because the common fan definitely knows that during an RPO, there's 3 plays on the play to stop. All right, and he talked about this today, how there's a play inside the box, and then there's the 2 corresponding, pass plays on the outside. All right, I feel like our fans, or our listeners, I don't call y'all fans, our listeners and our family here on this network, y'all know ball. I know y'all know ball because we teach it here on this network. So we got to stop that. We got to remove that from vernacular. Or at least when you say it, just be like, I know the common fan that doesn't listen to his show may not know this. The day.
I'm sure Kirby will say that.
The day that happened.
Honestly, though, if Kirby says something like that, you need to get scared if you're a Georgia fan, because that means Kirby is retiring soon and he is checked out. He does not care anymore. He's going to speak his mind.
If he's giving Brooks Austin accolades publicly, start worrying.
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
In a way, yes. If he's complimenting the media.
Kirby, he did say last year that I'd be going on football diatribes.
He said one of your dissertations.
Dissertations, that's what it was.
That's very different than people not watching his show.
He basically said you just be yapping.
No, dissertation, in my interpretation of the word dissertation, would be an educated, long-winded
yapping. Yeah.
But like dissertations is what you give in school. Those are educational speeches.
Yapping just
those
means
are not
talking.
Yapping.
I think we got another new Super Chub addition to the wall.
Oh, we do. Dawson Baker's a first-time Super Chub. Shout out to Dawson Baker. Ball knowers only. Shout out to the Film Guy Network. Let's go put Dawson Baker on the board while we finish up these Kirby Smart press conference notes. I felt like it was very obvious to me that when he was talking about how everybody's RPOing, he wasn't talking about his own offense.
No.
I don't feel that way about Georgia's offense.
No, they do. They very rarely RPO.
What's my man's name?
Dawson Baker.
Shout out Dawson. My man with the Super Chub. That board's going to be filled by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we love that. What else we got on here? Oh, I found out we call them 110s around here. Mm-hmm. I found out their conditioning test. Or at least I think I did. I don't know if it's their real conditioning test, but he kind of mentioned it as a bar of conditioning for them. We call them 110s. They run 2053s. Now let's pause and see if the chat can figure out what 2053s might be.
I mean, there's got to be at least one that gets it.
Oh, somebody will get it.
Somebody gonna get it. Yeah, they run 2053s, which is 20 run across the fields. It's 53 and a half. Yeah. Hey, Delafonte locked in tonight. A gasser, Nick Carwell, would actually be a 106. A 107. We're going to hit the 53 and a half and back. That's a gasser. A half gasser, actually. Full gassers are down, back for most people. Or hash, back, far field.
Oh, those are suicides.
That's suicide?
Yeah.
Gasher, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all
hitting the gashes. Gashes.
I thought they were gassers.
They run 2053s.
Yeah.
Which we got into discussion, and I think we're going to have to... I'm down to do a cardio challenge. I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if we're going to film it. I think I could crush 2053s.
No.
That's a lot of running, dude.
I think I could.
What do you mean by crush?
Like, I'm saying I could do it and not feel like I'm about to die. I feel like I could do 2053s tomorrow, 9 seconds, 40-second break in between. Crushed.
40-second break is quite a break.
All right, let's go 30-second break in between.
Oh, no, dude.
You don't think I could?
No.
Might have to. I'm going to try it by myself tomorrow on the local field, and I'll get back to y'all on that. And we'll see if we can do it.
Well, the field is probably going to be in use.
No. The local field over here.
No.
I
thought you were talking about the high school field.
I got a full field turf field over here. That
I know what you're talking about now.
Whenever I want.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Shout out. I think I can do it.
Okay. Best of luck.
I don't know about that one, man.
We'll see. He was asked about his dad. First year without coaching with his dad. I admired the fact that him and his dad didn't talk about football. I loved that.
I think that he kind of like intentionally steered that entire conversation away from football.
Yeah.
Because obviously when it's your dad, he's more than just, your mentor and your football coach, and how that's going to affect your football career. Like, that's kind of what the question was. And it's not a disrespectful question in any way, but I think he very clearly wanted to make it known that football was not the only thing me and my dad had in our relationship.
In fact, he said it was the last thing that they talked about. He said they talked about golf and the grandkid, his golf game, his dad's golf game, not Kirby's. His golf game and the grandkids. And he also said that he knows for a fact not only is his dad in a better place, but his dad's proud of everything that they've all accomplished. I didn't realize he was one of 3.
I didn't either.
Did you realize he had a brother and a sister?
I knew he had a sister. I didn't know he had a brother.
Yeah. Older, younger, I don't know. We didn't hear, but yeah, I didn't realize he had multiple siblings. So there's that. Wants to see Oscar submit himself as that Y tight end spot as an elite blocker. Hey, I'm going to tell you what. I think it's a really, really good thing for Georgia that Oscar Delp got like hardest worker awards this offseason.
It's a good sign.
Oscar Delp got MVP weight room awards this season.
Contract year.
Now, look, I'm not saying Oscar Delp is lazy. I'm just saying Oscar Delp's never been connected to like Brock Bowers level work ethic.
Well, I mean, too, it comes after him mentioning about himself that he had his mind in the wrong places last season, which indicates that he probably wasn't working as hard as he should. So knowing that seems like that has already been corrected by himself. So again, that's a good sign.
There's nothing more, motivating than a contract year. Because, I mean, after this, like, even if he wants to come back, I don't think that Georgia is going to say, welcome back, just because of how compact and how crowded that tight end room is. So, like, this is Oscar's make or break here.
He was asked what kind of keeps him going in year 10, what lights the fire, if you will.
Yeah.
What do you think his response was?
Well, I watched it, so I'm not
okay.
Gonna,
what do you
I'm
think his response was?
Like, what keeps his fire going?
Yeah, what keeps Kirby Smart, lit? The fire,
the love for football,
pursuit of greatness, some type of like answer like that is what I was expecting. Like just like the pursuit of the next thing is what I was always thinking he was always driven by. He said figuring out the answers, basically. Like looking at the team, figuring out what this team's recipe for success is going to be, and then applying that. Almost looking at it like, I think he said figuring out the pieces of the puzzle. I think was the wording that he used.
Figuring out the ways the role they need me to play.
Yeah. I think it's good for his longevity to hear that answer as opposed to, I just want to win. I'm on to the next one. The obsession type stuff that I think everyone connects him to, which he is obviously very obsessed with.
But he's always made sure he's a process oriented guy.
Yeah.
That if you focus on the process, the results will come. Like, he's never been about, hey, I want to win a championship. Like, that's obviously the end goal for everyone.
Not just obsessed with the process. I think he genuinely enjoys the grind of the process.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what, in turn, that's what that answer is, by saying, like, I'm more focused on how I can be helpful to these kids, to these players, to this team, as opposed to, just winning another national championship.
Obviously had to mention, like, getting kids degrees and stuff like that, which I think he truly does believe that. I think he gets joy and happiness out of the fact that Ernest Green's about to graduate, like he mentioned. I'm not calling him a liar there. I think that's true. But I think more importantly for him, it's the puzzle piece thing. Figuring out the answers. Finding the answers to him is probably the thing that gets him up in the morning and gets him going. Was asked if the rate of turnover on the roster slows. I feel like he gets this every year. Slows down the install process. He said they don't give them less. They just do more. Meaning they, like, for example, they did 30-minute like football school of the day stuff all summer, where players could come in for 30 minutes every single day, and they'd have some topic of the day where they just teach football. And I think this is brilliant, by the way, because I had coaches all the time just harp on us. Y'all aren't watching enough ball. Y'all leave here. Y'all don't give a damn about football. Y'all just don't absorb any more football. And then you leave, and only what we teach you is what you absorb. That's not enough. And I think this is great for a round-robin education of the football program. He said they're just doing more. So there's not a minute of the NCAA a lot of time that they're not squeezing out. Which
or surpassing.
Yeah. Is that the most broken rule in college football, the 20-hour rule?
Gotta be.
By the way, this will be funny for the people at home that have no idea. College football players per rule, are not allowed to spend more than 20 hours on football-related activities during the week. Right? Yeah, we counted it up at our D2 school. Our D2 school that did nothing. 47 hours a week.
I mean, we have our subscribers watching 20 hours of content.
Are we violating NCAA rules?
We might
We're
be.
not part of the NCAA. We're fine. We operate on our own.
Come
time.
get us. What you going to do about it?
It's college football.
We'll file a
Isn't part of
lawsuit.
NCAA at this point?
No.
New offensive coaches have helped in developing the run game further. Talking about the two NFL additions, the tight ends coach and the offensive line assistant.
Did you catch on to a
What were their
certain
names, by the way?
John Lilly and Phil Rauscher.
John Lilly and Phil Rauscher. Rauscher, the offensive line guy. Lilly, the tight ends coach. What's up?
Did you catch on to what he almost said about?
No, he did say wide zone.
He did.
He said it.
I heard stretch zone and
Inside zone, wide zone. Said you can't reinvent football. Well, to Georgia, putting in wide zone would be reinventing football. 7 years in a row, you ain't done it. Now you run jet sweeps. I'm sure y'all have done outside zone footwork during indies and stuff like that, but we study it. They ain't running wide stretch zone at Georgia over there. They fitting the. I'm gonna tell you right now, they are about to change what they do run game wise. I think. I think it's gonna be fun.
Ooh.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch. That is for sure. All right, so that is what we got from a press conference rundown. Sorry, I'm stalling here. I'm trying to get to this article that I wrote today. Also went to practice, had practice availability. So let's give you these here practice notes today. Now, I'm going to do right by Kirby, but also maybe not. Here's the deal, Coach. We come out there and you tell us that this was last year. He made fun of us for depth chart checking him.
Oh, yeah.
Going to practice and then only writing about his depth charts. Well, Coach, when all we see is indies for 10, 15 minutes, there ain't much to write about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go out there and tell my audience how great some defensive tackle looked today at practice when all he did was unroll his hips on the two-man sled. I'm not going to come out here and tell you how great the offensive line looked today at practice when all they did was do, no shit, when I showed up, fumble recovery.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go out here and tell you how great the quarterbacks looked when all they did was routes on air and hand off to running backs during the 15 minutes I'm out there. When I'm out there, all I really get a view of is what the rotations during individual look like and who's gained weight, who looks good, all that good stuff. So that's what I did in my article today. I ran down that stuff and tried to avoid all your depth chart checking. But I do understand as a media member why that's all most people write about, because that's all that there is to write about, willingly and respectfully. Again, I don't think you want media members out here talking about how great somebody looked when all we saw was routes on air and it's not football. You know what I'm saying? I think you would respect that as well. But I get why you don't let us out there. I totally get that. All right, so let's talk about it. Offense. Let's do rotations, because this was important, as noteworthy. We talked about it all offseason. We felt like if they had to play tomorrow, Colton Ginn would be the third. Like if all catastrophic things happened and they had to go to QB3, it would be Colton Ginn. Today he was rotating in at QB5. So
behind Melander and
Montgomery. I'm gonna give it to you. It was Gunner, Ryan Montgomery, Melander, Colton Ginn.
No disrespect to anybody ahead of Mr. Ginn, but I would imagine that if in a game scenario, if they had to play a third quarterback, I would imagine that he's the third guy that gets thrown in there. Because, I mean, first off, Ryan Montgomery is just now starting to really practice, I would imagine. Starting to really, because I remember in the springtime, he was still just kind of doing stuff off to the side. And then, I mean, Hezekiah, same thing. He just got here. So, based on the history, he would be the third QB if I had to imagine.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Thorson was in tennis shoes today. He was out of practice, but I don't think he's punting. Didn't look like he had a punting shoe on. He was in the regular turfers. Running back room. Biggest question is obviously who is going to be the feature to Nate Frazier, right? Who's going to be the secondary feature to Nate Frazier? No answers with regards to that today. In fact, I know I wrote in my notes that I saw Josh McCray today. He looked huge. That was actually a walk-on. That was number 30. He looked huge. I got to go back and edit my notes. McCray's supposed to be wearing 2. I didn't put my eyes on him today. All right. I did see everybody else. Dwight Phillips has put on noticeable weight. Dwight Phillips is probably 192 pounds. All right. He probably showed up at 175. He's put on noticeable weight. It's good, especially if you're going to see him in any traditional running back carries. Chauncey Bowen's still wearing a knee sleeve. Might just be the rest of his career. I think some guys just feel comfortable with it. Maybe he thinks it's drippy. Who knows? So there's that. Tight end. It was interesting to see Colton Heinrich take those 4th reps today. 3rd reps? 3rd reps. He took reps before Jaden Riddell today. It was Oscar, Lawson, Colton, Riddell, 2 freshmen. Also worth noting, rotations don't matter in Indies, I don't think, in terms of who's actually playing, because I think Riddell's getting snaps before Heinrich in real playing time. That's worth noting. What's also a real practice observation about Elias Williams has put on weight. It's very clear to me that the idea that Elias Williams is going to be used as just like mismatch H, put him in the slot, let him run it. No, that's a Y tight end. That dude's 250 pounds easily. Matter of fact, let's go to the board. This is Elias, okay? This is Elias right here, and you can tell my man's put on weight. Now, where did he put the weight on is more important. We put the weight on from the shoulder columns down to the thigh. We see this? That is a thick individual now in his biceps and in his thighs. This was a string bean coming out of high school. He was 6'6.5", 230 pounds. That's a 250-pound athlete right there. Let's continue to go through the photos right here. That is Zion Branch. Looked healthy. I know he was rehabbing a lot this summer and played a lot this spring. I think he's got an opportunity to play now. This is the photo that I think everybody should be talking about. Krista Miller played at about probably 295 last year. That's a 310-pound human. That guy's put on weight. All right, and it's good weight. That's not fat. That is swelling up. All right, that is a big, violent man. And you know what I love? Put us back into. That's the type of mentality this dude's playing football with this year. I recognize that face. You know why I recognize that face? That's what that dude looked like as a senior in high school. I think a lot of people forget, man, Kristen Miller wasn't this top 250 guy his entire high school career. This is a dude who earned his right to be a Georgia Take based off his senior tape. All right, we're in a bag year, no different than we were in that year. This is a big-time year for Kristen Miller, and he walked around practice with that look on his face all day long. That's Joshua Horton wearing 81. That's the Miami transfer. Let's get a good look at him right there. A big kid. That doesn't look like 290 pounds. That's 290 pounds. Okay. Shout out for the love for the lens. We love the love for the lens. That's KJ Bolden. Obviously, noticeably a little bit thicker this year, huh?
Looks a little thicker.
Absolutely. This is Elo Madoze. Talking about a thick human.
Oh, my.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a high school wide receiver, boys.
Really?
That kid went to Army playing wideout. Yeah. So that's a big kid, long. There's Isaiah Gibson with Quintavious Johnson back there talking to my man Chidero Uzo Doribe. Isaiah Gibson probably carrying 270 right about now, I'd say. Looks thin. Looks like he's not carrying a lot of body weight on him. Ready to play defensive end / jack is what I'm telling you by giving you that bit of information. There's Kirby toothpicking his teeth. I think he just got done calling Michael Unai quote-unquote effing turtle, I think was verbatim. You look like, nah. Everybody go back, start it over. Unai's out here looking like a mother effing turtle. So there we go. That is Noah Thomas right there. Again, rotations don't matter, but we were deep down in the rotation during individual. Okay, now, I think he ended spring with a shoulder injury, right? So maybe catching back up to practice. Was it a shoulder? We left spring game.
It was either a shoulder or a knee. He did come out of the game very early, though.
Any guesses who that is?
Oh, that's Tyler Williams.
Bro, I had to double take 13 multiple times today. I'm like, who is that? Tyler Williams was like a dude. Okay, and that was like the 4th receiver they took last year.
Yeah.
That everyone was talking about.
Often forgotten.
Maybe 5th in that room. I would say Landon Rolding is talked about more often than this young man. All right, there's Jacoby White. Going to be a great football player at Georgia. I just don't know when he's going to get a lion's share of those slot reps because this guy exists. Look at that cut.
Oh my God.
Look at that cut. All right, that's Zachariah Branch. And you can see kind of like the physical body styles of him and Jacoby are very, very similar. There's noticeable juice when this guy touches it. All right, noticeable juice when that guy touches it. There's QB1, Gunnar Stockton. I didn't quite get him as he was throwing the football. That's my bad. I did get that guy, though. All right, I want to talk about this, though, because we talk about it all the time on this network. I ought to be able to draw a line. When we're rolling left, we're rolling right. I ought to be able to draw a line from your fingertip through your left foot. Look at that. There's that line, right? That's that line on that mobile, on-the-move throw. I better be able to draw a line through that body. That's a great rep right there from Puglisi. There's our man, Trey Scott. Probably best defensive line coach in college football. Jordan Hall looks like Jordan Hall to me. I didn't see a noticeable difference in body. The good news is this dude's healthy. I think that's all that matters right about now.
Noah Thomas did come out of spring with the AC joint sprain.
AC joint sprain on Noah Thomas during spring ball. That is indeed what we thought, and that is indeed what happened. There's another photo of Elias Williams. That's a mountain of a human being. Speaking of which.
Oh, my gosh.
Y'all see why I'm about these Nigerian genetics, huh?
Is that JJA?
That is Joseph Jonah Ajonye right there, man.
He's put on weight, too.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Still looks really thin, okay? Put it on in pure raw muscle, not in body fat. Okay, some of these defensive linemen, we want to get belly fat on them. We want them to hold blocks. If you're going to play 4-eye and out, though, we got to stay relatively thin and low in the body mass index. That is what it looks like right there. What?
I'm just laughing at how large he is.
That's a large human being.
It's massive.
Yeah, those biceps ain't playing. That's Darian Ikenagbon. Now, what you can't tell from that photo, that's a huge human, too. That dude's like 6'6", 245. There's Quintavious Johnson. A little drip on him at practice. You see that? We got some ice on him down here at practice.
Wow.
I noticed that as I was editing the photos. We got some ice on. Now, this is my hey. I'm all for Ellis Robinson hype. I'm all for DeMello Jones hype. I'm all for Daniel Harris hype. I am all for Daniel Everett hype. Every time I go out to practice, I can't stop looking at Dominic Kelly. I think Dominic Kelly is going to be a great football player at Georgia. The other thing about this guy, reclassed. Okay, he's still supposed to be. It's supposed to be his first year.
Wait,
really
are you telling me he's only 17 years old?
Yeah, he's a 17-year-old. He's supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
Let's go.
He's supposed to be a 2026 guy enrolled with 2025 class out of IMG.
Georgia fans.
Hey, which one of those guys is the true freshman?
For comedic purposes, it's going to be number 6.
It is number 6. There's C.J. Wiley standing next to James Coley.
Now, I want to know who 36 is.
Come on, dog.
That's
Zachariah Branch right there.
Jeremy Bell, right?
That's fan favorite Jeremy Bell right there. And there's James Coley, another fan favorite. Y'all love him, eh, chat? Y'all love James Coley. Universally loved James Coley. By the way, I might as well stop and talk about it now. James Coley got absolutely obliterated on the microphone today. Okay, more so than any football coach out there today. James Coley got obliterated.
Now finish that with. That's not specific to James Coley. That will happen. No,
the very last practice I was at is Josh Crawford. Josh Crawford got obliterated on the microphone. It's all of them.
Anyone can get it.
That's Adrian Maddox. We'll talk about these guys at start a little bit more when we get over to the desk. There's Dalen Everett right there. You can see he put on some weight. Didn't get to see him during spring. And there is Ethan Barbour, the true freshman tight end.
He looks good.
Yeah, he does. He's going to be a player. All right, he's going to be a good move tight end for this football team. Let's continue our practice observations. Let's see here. We were on the article, weren't we? Let's see what I missed here. Oh, the staff offseason additions. They are no more noticeable than in the offensive line room. And we talked about this during the offseason when they added these guys about what they were going to be doing, why they were brought in. And what did we mention? We mentioned how you've got so many high-quality football players that you don't have enough coaches that when you go to platoon or when you split the groups up, you got GAs, no offense to Warren Erickson and the other GAs on the roster, but you got GAs down there coaching 4 and 5 stars that in 18 months, we need to protect our future. Okay, so what they did this offseason was they went out and hired my man from the Jags.
John Lilly, right? Or is it Rauscher?
Rauscher. They hired my man Rauscher, and they hired my man John Lilly. Now, what are these guys doing? Well, when you go out to practice, what you notice is Stacy Searles and my man Rauscher are over there with the young unit, coaching them up on all the minuscule things, the little nitpicky stuff that young kids can't figure out during indies, while Warren Erickson and my other GA are over there with the old heads going through the basics, right? The stuff that they already know how to do, that they just need eyes on and somebody to look over and purview. Meanwhile, the actual coaching is being able to be done in a much more concise and consolidated nature. I love the idea that this is happening in college football. And it's not just Georgia. Everybody's doing this now that these on-field roles have been lifted.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the more effective ways to Kirby Smart has always been big on not ever wasting time, never waste a rep, never waste anything. this is, again, helping that become the case.
Now, it could have just been while we were out there. It's the big deal on the offensive line this year is who's going to be the other guard spot. Obviously, you kind of know who your starters are. It's going to be Monroe Freeling at left tackle. It's going to be Michael Morris at left guard. It's going to be Drew Bobo, who had a bad snap today. First snap of the day went over the head of the quarterback. As I was walking off to my parking deck, I heard Kirby give him some shit on that one. You know who your right tackle is. You know it's going to be Ernest Green. The question mark is who's going to play right guard. It looked to me today that Michael Unai was there, and then Daniel Calhoun standing right behind him. Daniel Calhoun kind of had the grip on it during spring ball, but obviously had an ankle injury. So I don't know if that's like I said, it could have been, I guarantee they were rotating throughout the day. It's not that big of a deal. Defensive side of the football, we talked about Kristen Miller adding noticeable weight on. We talked about Joshua Horton over there. Did I call him Isaiah Horton? We talked about Joshua Horton over there on the board. Nnamdi Ogboko. That's a big man. He's going to be playing some nose tackle reps this year. If y'all are playing true zero this year, I think Nnamdi Ogboko is going to be the guy. Your edge room, I include defensive end and Jack all into this now, because if you look out there, and I wrote about this today, between Gabe Harris, Joseph Jonah-Ajonye, Darian Ikenagban, Chase Linton, Isaiah Gibson, Elo Madoze, Quintavious Johnson, you've got 7 football players who are all 6'4" plus, 250 pounds plus. You don't have a single guy on the roster. Oh, add Chris Jones into that. So you got 8 of them. You got 8 guys on your roster who look like NFL edge rushers from a height weight standpoint. There's not a singular 6'2", 245 pounder on this roster. There's not a Sam Mpemba. There's not a Chaz Chambliss. There's not a Nolan Smith. You got a bunch of big, long humans in this room at defensive end, and it's noticeable when you go out to practice. Justin Williams put on a considerable amount of weight in his midsection. I don't know if Justin Williams is ever going to look like a big man from the knee down and from the elbow, or from the mid biceps down. He's just too damn long. You notice this about him? Like real long. And I don't know if athletes like that will ever look like they put on a bunch of weight, but I guarantee if you put Justin Williams on the scale right now, he's 228. He's 229. He's close to 230. And that's about what we need them to be. Same thing with my man. I thought Sam Mpemba was 6'4". No, sir. You've eyeballed him in person.
Yeah, he's not 6'4".
Yeah, he's like 6'2", isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back though, just real quick
I know I'm rat-a-tatting.
to the defensive end and edge room, talking about all the names. I think it's worth noting too, like we were talking about the other day, how the depth got built up really fast because of the beginning of the offseason. We talked about how they needed more bodies there because it felt like they didn't have enough. We're to the point now to where, like, I think a lot of people probably forgot Chase Linton was on the roster. Like, we haven't mentioned him in a long time. Like, we've rattled off several names of that position. Chase Linton. So like, you're getting to the point now where like, you're forgetting people because you have so many names in that room.
Now, granted, those 8 bodies are competing for 2 positions, where used to you'd have the defensive end body, you'd have the Michael Williams, and then you'd have the Nolan Smith, or you'd have the Malik Herring, and you'd have the Azeez Ojulari. Now you're kind of pairing it with 2 bigger, longer, taller bodies. Moving on to star position, I thought it was interesting to see. All right, by the way, Josh Skelton, roster saying you're 6'3" means you're 6'2". Just future reference. 6'2 and a quarter, bare minimum. Star position. Thought it was interesting that obviously Jonah Aguero was over there, but Ja'Cory Thomas rotating in early during individual periods. Saw Adrian Maddox over there. Saw Jaden Harris over there. Okay, guys that were kind of in the spring only designated to maybe competing at safety, now getting reps at
And
star.
was this indie reps, or was this like actual like?
No, this was indie reps, and then they you could see them rotating out of the star indie group and going over there and taking safety reps too.
Okay,
so I think they're cross training is what I'm trying to tell you.
Gotcha.
So there's that. What else we got? KJ Bolden's put on weight. We talked about that. I couldn't see nothing out of the corner room. I ain't even gonna sit here and act like I saw rotations or nothing like that.
That was probably done intentionally.
Yeah. So that's what I got there. All right, let's do preseason awards.
Yeah, let's knock that out real quick.
Yeah, let's knock this out. Offensive MVP 2025 preseason award. Christian Kirby, who's it going to?
It's going to Nate Frazier. I know that for as much as Gunnar Stockton, and he will be one of the more important aspects of this, I think that what you're able to do in the run game will set up what you can do with Gunnar Stockton in the passing game. Obviously, that hinges on what Nate Frazier can give you as the bell cow running back.
Nate Frazier, definitely a really good option. I think he probably would be the favorite to be offensive MVP, but I'm going with Colby Young because just like how you mentioned how Nate Frazier is going to impact other aspects of this football team and how successful he is in the run game, I think Colby Young is really going to impact what Georgia's able to do in the passing game, really playing into Gunnar Stockton's strengths. I think he's going to be the main target in this offense.
Brooks Austin, what do you think?
Offensive MVP.
It's a good option.
Give me Zach Branch.
It's a
Really solid.
Really
Actually,
solid option.
Give me Zach Branch in between the 20s. Give me Colby Young in the red zone.
That's also very solid.
Never just pick one.
Can I do that? Can I
Never
make
just
my own?
pick one.
Can never
Can I
pick
make my
one.
own rules?
Yeah, make
It's
your own.
most valuable player,
Josh
not
McCray was sick
most
today,
valuable
that's what they said.
players.
Okay. Yeah. Who's the most valuable player and have situations to, you know. This
All
is
right,
more
all
valuable.
right, all right.
We'll get into
We'll
this.
give it
This
to
is
you.
More valuable. Hey, my show. I get to do what I want. Most valuable defensive player?
Kristen Miller. Kristen Miller is the most valuable player on this defense because of the position that he plays and going into it, like he is going to be your guy that is creating all the havoc up front and the biggest difference maker in my opinion on this defense.
It absolutely is Kristen Miller, but I went with Dalen Everett. It feels weird to put a cornerback as a potential for the defensive MVP, but I feel like he is one of the rarities in a Georgia cornerback room where offenses have often looked at, you know, the cornerback one and said, we can't throw to that guy. Dalen Everett gets tried more consistently than the Kamari Lassiters did, than Darian Kendrick did when he was at Georgia. Like, those guys didn't really get thrown to as much. Dalen Everett has the opportunity to cause a lot of turnovers for Georgia this year.
Y'all want to hear good news?
What's good news?
We got a contract ready to be signed, sitting in our inbox right now.
Oh, sick.
Yep. Up to something season. Yeah, it's Kristen Miller. Defensive MVP. Got to be this year. Speaking of Kristen Miller, we did a film study yesterday. Yesterday. Did a film study yesterday breaking down CJ Allen and Kristen Miller. I figured I'd give you the notes on that. First and foremost, let's talk about Kristen. All right. The get off on that guy is insane. The first step and snapback created by his violence and uncoiling of the hips it was unprecedented on tape last year. They didn't have anybody resetting the line of scrimmage quite like 52 did, and you could see it on tape. We watch it. We paused every single run clip and showed you the displacement that 52 created versus everybody else on that defensive line. It was noticeably different. But I think the other thing that we pointed to, and I think the thing that most people gravitated towards during that film study was our recognition discussion that we were having about defensive linemen, right? I compared playing defensive line to a lot like being a striker in MMA, okay? And I compared it to that famous Conor McGregor video where you're my MMA guy. Who did he sleep in the first round where he kind of like ducked back on?
Oh, Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo, okay? That clip, if you watch it in frame by frame, Conor McGregor moves out of the way by just a smidgen of space and then just connects right on the nose. That's what playing defensive line a lot looks like, right? It's recognizing where hands are coming from, recognizing where blocks are coming from, being able to prepare my body for that block, and ultimately being able to prepare my body to destroy that block or disrupt that block, right? Kristen does that ad nauseum on tape. We slowed it down frame by frame, and you can really see him recognizing what's happening while gaining ground, right? Recognizing what the guy in front of me is doing, not only realizing what he's doing, but what that means the guy next to him is about to do to me. All right, and it's worth going to watch, and you should pay attention to that film study. We talked about CJ Allen. Watching him in the run game was really, really impressive, right? His pad level, his intent, his initial keying, right? Seeing what he sees in front of him and then getting downhill right now and being confident in his reads. I don't think we saw a single offensive lineman or tight end in that box be able to get their hands on CJ and hold him, like be able to get him and keep him, right? There's not a lot of that going on tape for CJ Allen. His block disruption is really, really good. The other thing we noticed about him on tape, Jonathan, you were in here, not only is he a good block disruptor, but when it's time to avoid a block, we saw that as well, right? Mm-hmm. And the times of that, we don't have Epic Pen ready, do we? Let's talk about this right now with my hands, okay? When we have down linemen or offensive linemen moving up to the second level, if they carry a defensive lineman to us and then come off of that combination block onto us, we've got to strike that down lineman. We can't avoid him because if we do, likely the ball carrier is already on his feet. All right, he's already on his heels. So if we get approached by an offensive lineman working up to the second level through the down lineman, we got to strike that guy. If we get a free runner coming up off of the line of scrimmage, offensive lineman not touching a down lineman, coming to us unevaded, we've got time to avoid that guy. That's what we need to avoid, blocks. We don't need to play through that guy. All right, we're a better athlete. Get around him. And you can see him choose and pick his spots perfectly in those situations. And I thought that was awesome to show on tape as well. The other thing we noticed, and you're going to see a lot more of it, Kirby talked about it today during his press conferences, 3 linebacker systems. Okay. Last year, games 7 through 13, 14, 15, they were deploying that 3 linebacker system a whole hell of a lot more than they have been in years prior. And I think you're going to see a lot more this year as well, just because of their personnel package.
Mm-hmm.
Discussing film in the middle of preseason awards. We love it.
Rookie of the year?
This one feels rather obvious as well, in my opinion.
Elijah Griffin?
Yeah, Elijah Griffin.
Yeah.
He'll get the most opportunity, it seems like.
I got 5.
For breakout player?
Yeah. Elijah Griffin, Juan Gassis, CJ Wiley, Taylor, Bo Walker. We're gonna have y'all talking about them at some point this year.
All potential candidates.
I went Xavier McLeod because you didn't get to see a whole lot of Xavier McLeod. It seems like this year.
So this is his rookie year, is what we're saying?
Well, I thought we moved to most improved breakout player.
We're moving on to most improved /
Well, I thought that's why you
player.
had 5 nominees.
No. I named 5 freshmen right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Would you like to name the rest of the 2026 class or 2025 class?
I mean, sure show, dude. Do whatever you want.
Oh.
Go put your name back on the wall.
Yeah, I should. Most improved player. Sorry, I misheard you. Xavier McLeod, because again, like I was saying, I don't think you saw a whole lot of him last year. He was banged up at times. He's going to be a mainstay in this lineup. I think you could see a huge leap of like, oh, that's why Georgia wanted him so bad out of the portal. That's why they brought him onto this roster. He is a true difference maker.
Give me Dylan Bell. He's going to beat the scrub allegations this year.
You think people call him scrub
Dude,
now?
Fans were throwing that his way.
Scrub?
Unfortunately, so I do not support that.
Jeez.
There were a certain amount of people that was like, oh my God, Dylan Bell is awful. Dylan Bell this, Dylan Bell that. No, he's going to remind you this season as to why he was featured so much in Georgia's offense in 2023.
Man.
What say you, boss?
What were we talking about?
Breakout player or most improved?
I got 3.
All right.
Oscar Delt.
That's a
Obviously.
really good one.
It's a good one.
Gabe Harris.
I like that one a lot.
First year really playing.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I want Monroe Freeling to hit. I really do. I want it to be great.
that Dan?
I saw
Keep
are you
going.
watching football right now?
Keep going.
He's watching football.
You want Monroe Freeling to be great? You really do.
Yes, Dan Jackson.
See,
is in
I
the
can
game, by the way.
multitask.
Dan Jackson is on an NFL field
Dan
right
Jackson
now.
just laid someone out.
I'm thinking of sources' names to text right now, honestly.
Dude,
You know,
everyone's out
Gabe
here
Harris, the number
multitasking.
0 now. A little Agent
Kinda
0.
cold, isn't it? Kind of cold, isn't it?
I like it.
Yeah.
Coach of the year, who we got?
I'm going Dante Williams. I
Dante
think the
Williams.
secondary could have a really solid season this year between Dalen Everett and then whoever ends up playing opposite of him. But, I mean, you've got really good options there between Daniel Harris, Ellis Robinson, DeMello Jones, and then Jonel Aguero. I think you'll see a leap for him this season. And then I think what'll make it even better, like an even better season for the secondary, is that you're going to have multiple options of Ja'Cory Thomas, and then Zion Branch is going to be a guy that you can play as well, Adrian Maddox. I just think that you're going to see a huge group effort in the secondary, and it'll be a strong season for them this year.
Look, if this wide receiver core is as advertised or is even 3/4 as good as everyone's saying it's going to be, James Coley will be the coach of the year.
You kind of need it to be Stacey Searles.
That's true.
If Stacey Searles is the coach of the year for this football program, you are running it down people's throats.
Very, very true.
I think that would be good news for you. All right, call 5 shots.
Do you want to do that this week, or do you want to?
Hard to tell. Much in Spiders not any different than what we've been doing all summer, just with helmets. So, good luck on practice notes tonight from real people. Yeah, we'll save 5 shots.
Stow it away.
Appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I love you. Bye.